Picture this. You wake up one morning and everything has changed. You are not yourself anymore. Perception blurs. Time crumples. Your own memory becomes an unreliable narrator. Each day bleeds into the next, an endless torment with no emergency exit in sight. That fateful Saturday was one of the spookiest on record. Presented for you tonight, a tragedy about a quiet Midwestern family, perhaps not too unlike your own. Day 0. Outside, a woman in her early 20s, Andrea, walks home from work, waitress apron around her waist. She has headphones in, oblivious to the serene sounds of birds chirping, wind rustling, etc. Home. A cramped 2-bedroom home, a bedroom off to each side and a living room center, a table and chairs, a couch with a pillow and a blanket folded on top. Lining the walls, a handful of shoddily constructed homemade clocks. A man in his 40s, Dad, sits at the table working on a clock. Andrea enters.
Heidi, Heidi, Heidi.
Heidi, Heidi, ho! How was work? Cow does twerk.
Cow twerk's good.
Rest well, soldier.
Dad?
That's how I'm known, yes.
Stolen valor, Dad.
I don't think so.
Okay. How was twerk for you?
Just another day at the office. Just got up from a little sleep, and were you able to stop by the store?
Dang it, sorry, I can go now.
It's okay, no worries.
She flips through a small wad of cash.
Like, it was weirdly light for a Saturday lunch, so I got enough for my half.
Hey, it's okay.
But if my adding's right, we can still get the good rice.
Ooh, that good rice.
That good rice.
She prepares to exit.
Don't head out yet. You just got home. Sit for a bit.
Okay. What's the new clock?
It's a rooster.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna make a rooster noise in the mornings.
You always wanted to live on a farm?
Yeah, it's a real...
No.
Rock-a-doodle-doo!
No, Dad, no.
Rock-a-doodle-doo!
Rock-a-doodle-doo.
Rock-a-doodle-doo!
Okay, so it's either good rice or good sausage.
We'll flip a coin.
No, we need the coin. And there's some stuff I want to get your opinion on later after dinner too. But did you want me to put these away, or is this for?
We have a guest.
Do we have a guest?
Yeah.
So, what do you expect me to use for toilet paper?
Coming.
He scrambles off. Andrea rises, wide-eyed, her apparent panic a bit too intense for the situation. Dad re-enters.
Who is that, and why did they flush before using toilet paper?
I'll take the second part first. No idea.
I'm not joking. What's going on?
It's,
A man in his 60s, Grandpa, enters.
What kind of cheap paper is that? Steal from a gas station, something?
Surprise! My dad's in town.
Oh. Hi.
Back from work. You only work a couple hours a day, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, come on. This is how she talks to you?
Grandpa approaches Andrea for a hug. As he approaches, Andrea sticks out her hand.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
As they shake, the homemade cuckoo clock on the wall starts cuckooing nonstop. Grandpa jumps.
What is that?
Sorry.
Dad scrambles to the cuckoo clock and tries to turn it off. Grandpa checks his watch.
It's not even on the hour. What kind of... That's a screwy thing, huh?
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing this.
Well, toss that junk out. It looks like garbage.
It is garbage.
Dad,
You made these?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a hobby. My fun little... You know, everyone likes hobbies.
Dad,
I just like to make something useful out of things that aren't useful. That's a joke me and Andrea have. Like,
So you root around dumpsters for exercise and slap it on the wall for a hobby.
no, that's no. I do security at the landfill. If there's something that looks fun,
Dad,
so it's, you know, junk, and I take wood from some nice trees on my nature walks I like to do, so
Grandpa pats Dad on the back. Dad flinches.
Nice to know you haven't changed. This guy, huh? Is he fun to live with or what?
how long are you staying for?
Oh, well, that's a good question. She asks good questions.
she does. She's very smart.
Well, kid, I'll be here until I won't be here. You told her about family, right?
Family's important.
Bingo, bango.
No one says that.
Well, I say that.
Where is he sleeping? Dad? No.
He needs a bed, so we're gonna put him in your room.
Dad, come on.
And you can have the couch.
Indefinitely?
I mean,
Yeah, indefinitely? Your own daughter? No way is this thing comfortable.
it's
Yeah, Dad. I'm not the one who deserves the couch.
Yeah, Dad. Shouldn't you offer up your own room? Got your kid here. Needs your beauty rest, huh?
I mean, yeah, I guess I can take the couch if
Dad!
Well, that seems more fair, doesn't it?
yes, sir. You're welcome.
See? Got your back, kid.
Can you help him take his bags to my room?
Andrea stomps off to her room, grabs a couple heavy bags, takes them across the stage to Dad's room. Grandpa is seated on the bed, relaxed. Andrea unceremoniously drops the bags and exits.
Ooh, attitude. What's the longest you ever been on a bus for?
I dunno. I have more interesting things to measure.
Yeah? Well, let's hear about them.
Oh my God.
I was on a bus for 11 hours to get here. And for an older man, that's an exceedingly uncomfortable. So it would be nice to receive just a speck of warmth and smiles when I finally am able to relax from my own family. Understand?
Uh-huh.
Grandpa takes out a flask, drinks from it.
You're gonna be here. If you're gonna be here, you can at least be less of a bad cliche of a...
Of a what? This is water. I've been sober for 15 years. It's a mental trick. You know, like an ex-smoker puts a unlit cigarette in his mouth. Old habits. Just the way it is.
bad cliche of a liar.
He offers her the flask.
Well then, come on, prove me wrong.
Nah, I'm good.
Come on, it's my special flask. It's a family heirloom.
You know, if alcoholism runs in the family, I don't really want to tempt fate.
Oh, please. Am I allowed to call you a pussy? Because that's what's going on here.
Oh my God, just.
See?
She grabs the flag, takes a sip.
See?
Okay. Sorry.
Good. Don't call me a liar again. So you don't drink. You don't, what do you do?
11 hours on a bus, huh? No other places you want to live at that were a little bit closer?
You know, I thought I heard yous living in Pittsburgh. That's where I wanted to go, but what kind of town is Pittsburgh?
I don't know. I guess like a couple hundred years ago, there was an axe murderer named Pete who got run out of Pittsburgh, and he made his own town a couple hours away out of spite.
That's dumb.
Spite's powerful.
And dumb.
Then go somewhere else.
Family is family.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it boils down to whenever Dad talks about you.
It just warms my heart to know I'm talked about. I was renting a room in a house. The guy sold the house to be closer to his kids. I had to move. So if you're expecting some wild conspiracy that I'm here, you can rest easy.
No, conspiracy. You just seem like you'd be happier literally anywhere else.
Trust me. I'd love to be retarded enough to live in a retirement home and not depressed enough to blow my brains out.
Oh my God.
You keep saying that. You religious or something?
I'll be whatever you want me to be.
And this attitude is why you're single, I bet.
Oh my. All right. Bye.
So, am I right? Cause you gotta be what now? 21, 22, living at home. Your dad probably would notice if you did bring a guy over. But if you were seeing someone, you'd be out of this house so fast.
I am not seeing anyone, and that's my own choice. And this is not a line of questioning that I'm comfortable with.
Jesus, look, kid. I don't want to live here, okay? It's not as though it's easy for an old man to find a safe and affordable place to live. It's hard. All that said, I don't appreciate my granddaughter making it harder.
Same.
What do you got to complain about?
Just ignore me for a couple months. Just ignore me.
What? You going somewhere?
Just forget it.
Frug.
Forget it.
Oh, come on. I like secrets. You're eloping.
I'm not seeing anyone.
Yeah, and maybe you're the liar.
Anyone in this town looking to get married isn't wanting to move anywhere.
Gonna marry the ghost of an axe murderer?
Uh-huh.
But you are moving somewhere. Away.
Shut up.
Ha! So who's the guy? Is it a guy? Who is it?
Oh, no, just I'm going to college.
Speak up.
I'm going away to college
For what?
for learning.
You don't need college for that.
Shh, please.
You're looking to make some money? There's got to be some technical schools you can go to.
It's not about...
You kids are always complaining about money, but I don't see none of you as being willing to be an electrician or something. They'd flip to see a lady electrician.
Great idea. Thanks. We'll call the college and keep the scholarship. They want me to be an electrician.
This is very immature of you.
I'm going to study neurology. I loathe to break it to you, but they don't teach that in trade schools.
Neurology, huh?
And maybe one day I can help to make retirement homes less depressing, and you can consider living in one.
So, brains and memory stuff, huh?
Yes. Neurology.
Huh. You're going to solve that. They already got people working on that, so you're going to solve that? Is this something more special? You know what will always need working out? Wires and plumbing.
Thank you for sharing your flask and your advice. This conversation is unhelpful to me. Goodbye.
She exits.
That's it? Your dad teach you how to have discussions? Just get up and leave when someone disagrees with you?
As she walks across the stage to her own room, a moon-shaped clock chimes, a sound to signify night. Andrea's room. Andrea lies on her bed, reading a book. Dad knocks.
Who is it?
Me?
Me may enter.
Dad opens the door and stands in the doorway.
Me may my moo. Guess we're gonna have to start asking who it is when people knock on the bathroom and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that couch isn't great to lie down on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's rough.
Yeah, well, it's not rough. It's pretty soft, just lumpy.
Boo.
Clocka boodle boo.
I swear to God.
Yeah, just wanted to say goodnight and sorry and thanks for being a good sport with Grandpa. I know he can be a real,
Motherfucker.
no. You know, Andy, he said this funny thing after dinner. Like, you're probably just needling each other some grandpa, grandkid jokes, but did you tell him you're moving away to college or something, or?
It's a good plan, right? Wait, let me explain. Hold on.
She jumps off the bed and grabs a thick binder. She flips through it, showing him various diagrams and printouts proving her points.
I was gonna tell you all about it tonight, before, but okay. First, financially, it has been taken care of. It's a 75% scholarship as long as I stay in good academic standing, which, like, if I wasn't gonna stay in good academic standing, what's even the point of going, right? The other 25% in various living expenses. I've been saving a decent-ish amount from, it's a good amount from the restaurant. It's, you can see in the pie chart, it adds up. It's a full pie. So that, plus I'll get a part-time campus job and low-interest student loans with a reasonable grace period, and travel-wise, it is kind of far, I know, but part of the financial stuff is a plane fare home for the holidays and some vacations. And if I need to stay on campus for whatever reason, I have this list of nearby motels for you to stay at, and they're organized about what time of year you book, and you can get the best rates. And, like, there's a lot of stuff in here, like, it's just like, it's my life, right? I don't want to,
That's a lot of research. You've really been working on this for a while, huh? And you just weren't gonna tell me till now?
I now realize that was not the right way to go about this.
Not really, no. What school is it even?
Faraway University.
And that's far away.
It's not close. I mean, I know you always wanted a chance to go to college. I'll call every day and tell you all about it.
I mean, I'm very, very proud of you. It's just so soon, and
I wasn't sure what you'd say, and I wanted to make sure that everything was all in place and planned out because I know how you can get with stuff.
right. I mean, I'm very proud. I don't know. I mean, now with your grandpa in town and everything,
Just send him to a home. You don't owe him anything.
that's not true.
You don't. Dad, everything you've told me about him and how he treated you, you do not owe him anything. Especially a place, and especially not your own bed.
I mean, even then, it's always been the two of us, Dad and Andrea. I'm invoking Andrea, Dad. I'm sorry, but I really, really don't want you to go.
So, if Mom was alive and here to take care of you, it would all be fine?
You can't go.
He exits. Andrea takes a minute to collect herself. Then she grabs her binder and slams it repeatedly against a hard surface. She stomps across the stage back to Dad's room.
Pardon me.
The fuck is wrong with you?
What is this?
Well, I told you it was a secret. What? You don't know me. I've been studying my ass off. I've been going to the community college. Why not me? Why do you think I can't be the one who does these things? It's going to happen and it's going to be someone. So why not me?
What? One student doesn't make a difference. You're just wasting your time and money.
More than I'm wasting here?
I don't know what you do here, besides scream and cry.
You don't know me. Why are you trying to ruin my life?
Maybe I'm trying to save your life. If you look outside yourself for 2 seconds.
If it means looking at you for 2 seconds.
Oh, fun. College isn't meant for us. No one in our family is gone, and we've been fine. We're survivors.
And I'm the first. How about any recognition of the bullshit that you are such bullshit.
Am I not surviving?
I don't know, you're 65 and broke and you pushed your adult son out of his bed so you wouldn't have to freeze to death in a bus station. So I don't know.
This is immature.
You're immature.
You're immature. If you go off and fail and move back home, don't expect anyone to take you seriously ever again. You want that?
Like, what? Literally you? Loser. Oh.
Loser, huh? You don't know me. You know, if you talk to your professors or teachers or whoever like that, they're gonna kick you out and send you home crying, even if you were sleeping with them.
What? Oh, how do you have so much pride when you are objectively a loser? The manly thing to do is admit you've wasted your life, and now you make a hobby of taking it out on others.
Who said anything about manly?
It was implied.
It's just the way it is.
You know, just because you're older doesn't mean you know what's best
no
for
point
basically
in
a
talking
stranger.
to you.
There's no point in talking
If
to you.
I ever talk to my dad this way,
Well, I'm
my
glad that
mouth
my
would
dad
be
doesn't
on the
kid
other side of
his
the
kids,
room.
and he turned out better
I
than
have
you.
a
If
half
you
a mind
touch
to
me,
show you.
I will call the police.
Who do you
I'm
think the
not
cops are
gonna
going to
listen
listen
to
to you?
Not
Half
gonna
the
listen
cops
to
in
you.
fucking Pittsburgh would do the same thing. I promise you. A real mature, real college of you. Really, kid?
No. God!
I wish
I
you
wish
would
you would
just
just get the
shut
fuck
over yourself and listen to
me.
me.
Ugh! Good night, sir.
She stomps out. Blackout. Morning. Day 1. Andrea asleep in her room. Grandpa asleep in Dad's room. Dad asleep on the couch. Peaceful. Simultaneously, Andrea and Grandpa awaken. A big yawn, a big stretch. Partway through their stretches, they freeze. Something feels wrong. They look around at their respective rooms, then slowly they look at their hands. This wakes Dad, who, not wanting to be left out, in Dad's room, Grandpa, through aches and discomfort, sits up. In Andrea's room, Andrea hides under the covers. Dad's room, Grandpa stands up, teetering, wincing in pain. He gathers his balance. Andrea's room, Andrea remains under the covers and breathes heavily, panicking. Dad's room, Grandpa, in small, delicate steps, exits. Living room, Grandpa slowly heads towards Andrea's room, but...
Hey, good morning.
Grandpa continues to hobble.
How'd you sleep?
Uh,
Was everything comfy, affordable? Good. I'm gonna make some egg in a hole if...
Grandpa stares at Dad, deer in headlights. Dad exits. Grandpa makes it into Andrea's room. Grandpa stares at the bed, an inflating, deflating lump of Andrea under the covers.
Graham, are you Grandpa?
Andrea,
I can't hear you.
is that Andrea?
Waking up now, waking up now, waking up now, waking up.
I'm awake.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess it's good at least that it's just the two of us that swapped and it's not like some big mess, but
How did you even do this?
why would I do this?
Because you're angry at me. I know you're irrational.
Why would I want this? Just get out from there.
No.
Oh my God. Come on.
No.
Coward. Chicken.
I can't move.
Are you paralyzed?
No, I can't. Every movement, it's a violation.
Wow. Well, that really makes me feel great about my body. Thanks.
No, my lord, this is my granddaughter. I don't want to. I don't. What your skin is.
I'm not happy about it either, but your irrational little granddaughter made the fantastic voyage across the living room, so the least you can do is look at me.
That's what I look like?
Uh-huh. Only hurting yourself there, champ. And I look really cute in the morning, so you're welcome.
Fix this.
Why are you just assuming that I know how body swapping works? This isn't like a thing I do on weekends.
How am I supposed to know that?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because, surprise, Freaky Friday isn't journalism.
Ricky, how do I know that?
Okay, here. Bras and underwear in the top drawer. Shirts.
Oh.
Oh, grow the hell up. Shirts in the middle, pants bottom drawer. Get dressed and meet me in the living room.
I can't.
I am not dressing you.
Grandpa exits into the living room. Andrea exhales like a bodybuilder preparing for a deadlift. In one big motion, she flings the covers off. Now seeing her entire body, she moans again. Living room, Grandpa on the couch, flips through a CD-DVD binder. Dad enters.
Oh. Looking for something in particular, or? Okay.
Oh, no, son. Just admiring your collection.
Oh. Yeah, most of those are Andrea's. The library used to sell their old DVDs for cheap, so every couple of weeks we'd go down and she'd pick a couple out.
Grandpa has removed a disc. He starts to stand, but winces in pain and sits back down.
Oh. Can you put this in?
Yeah. Freaky Friday. We saw that one in theaters. Then I let Andrea pretend she was me and I was her for the rest of the day. You know, little tiny Andrea, like, excuse me, sir, I'd like a treat for my daughter over there. And I was like, please, mister. Yeah, you know, it's
You want to watch it with me?
yeah, okay.
An hour later, Dad laughs at the movie. Grandpa watches very intently, stone-faced, taking mental notes. Grandpa's stoicness makes Dad feel insecure. Dad looks behind him and sees Andrea lurking by the door to her room.
Hey, Andy, you want an egg in a hole? Who's being freaky now?
Grandpa stands up.
Don't pause.
Grandpa goes to Andrea and they enter Andrea's room.
Hope that movie taught you something.
Okay, so I'm supposed to just do all the work here.
Wait, what do you think college is?
Okay, so great job dressing yourself, by the way. Top notch.
Oh, screw.
It's about a mother and daughter who don't get along. They're an odd couple in a way that you'd understand.
I get.
They swap because of a magic fortune cookie, which don't have anything to do as problematic as that, but still, if I recall correctly, it's not another cookie that swaps them back.
What is it?
All right. Yeah, like, I wasn't gonna tell you, but since you ask,
Don't snap at me.
they swap back after they solve each other's problems in an act of selfless love.
That's so fucking faggy.
Don't!
I talk how I talk. Accepting that would be selfless.
I can be selfless.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Well, I'm more selfless than you. Okay, forget the selfless love part. Just, if we can solve each other's problems, that in itself is selfless.
Andrea looks down at her body.
So, for you, I gotta go to the gym or something?
Come on, man.
Lighten up, it's a joke.
You've got to convince Dad to let me go to college.
Ha!
You messed that up. You fix it.
Yes. Okay, you're right. Happy?
Yes.
Hallelujah. And what are you gonna do for me? I don't have any problems.
Oh, my man. You've got to go to a retirement home.
No, that's not one-to-one, huh? You want to go to college. I don't want
It's
to.
not what we think is a problem. It's what we need to move on with our lives.
Sure, you say that, but it's much harder than you think to just move into a retirement home.
Grandpa grabs Andrea's phone from the nightstand and starts tapping on it as Andrea goes on.
At the place I was living at, they wigged out at me for saying kids these days, but it's true, kids these days. You can't just snap your fingers and make things happen. If you could, you just give yourself $1 million, and you know that's true. Again, it's hard to find a place to live, and if it wasn't, you'd think I'd choose to live here?
There are 3 active retirement centers in a 20-mile radius.
And you think they all just have availability like magic? I can't be driving all over town.
Hi, Sonny. I'm an old piece of shit. Do you have any vacancies? Oh, you do? Oh, well, yes, I can come down tomorrow and take a look. Thank you so much.
Grandpa hangs up. Andrea rises. Night. Living room. Andrea puts on her best little girl voice and speaks to Dad as he lies on the couch, watching TV, ready for bed.
Dad?
Oh, hey, sweetheart.
Hey. Sorry for making you sleep on the couch.
Oh no, that's okay. I shouldn't have offered up your room without asking first. You want to sit?
He offers her the spot next to him. She sits.
You feel all right? I haven't seen you all day.
He puts his hand on her forehead. She bristles, roughly pushes his hand off.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know how long he's planning on hanging around here. Are you and Grandpa getting along okay, at least?
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm really glad to hear that, sweetie. Maybe it'll be okay. It'll be like if Mom was alive and there were 2 grown-ups around. Mom was an old man and was mean sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Mommy.
Yeah.
He tousles her hair, but quickly stops himself, just as Andrea shoots him another look of, "Don't you dare touch me."
Well, you can tousle my hair if you want.
Okay. No, but I'm sorry, I guess, for not telling you about for her college plans. I mean, it was very immature
No.
and stupid, childish of me to think I could even get away with that. It was just a very flawed plan to begin
Sweetie,
with.
it's not immature. I get it. Some people are fine staying around home and some aren't. It was immature of me to not think about that.
Oh, I get that. Believe me, I just, for some reason, want to make my life matter, and for some reason, I can't do that without college, and the money's covered for, it's all planned out, it's my choice.
I mean,
I'm the first in the family, right? That's not nothing, right?
I'm impressed. I am. I'm just, it's far and I'm worried and
Maybe this is just time for both of us to grow up and live on our own.
you know what? Okay.
Okay?
Okay. I love you so much. I'm so sorry I ever said no. You're going to be great, and I'm so, so proud of you.
Thank you.
Andrea rises. As she does, a chime signaling a few moments later. Andrea's room. Andrea enters. Grandpa makes a thumbs up, thumbs down.
You can go to college now. Congrats.
Grandpa puts a slip of paper in his pocket.
And your retirement home info is in your pocket.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Likewise.
They shake hands and go to their respective beds. Blackout. Morning. Day 2. Identical to the previous morning, the lights come up on Andrea and Grandpa asleep in their beds. They wake up, look at their surroundings, their hands, and...
Come on!
They get out of bed and stomp out of their rooms, meeting in the middle. Living room.
You care to explain this?
Sorry. I didn't know body swapping was a real life thing until yesterday.
Fix it. Today.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe we just hang out for a couple of days, and unless you've got someplace you... Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no,
What?
no, no,
What?
no, 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 no,
What?
no, 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 it's fine. It's fine. I just have to work in a couple of hours, but you can call them and you can call out sick.
Think I can't do your job, huh?
What? No, it's not that. That's not the point. I just don't want you to go to my job and then lose my job.
I wouldn't lose your job. You're a waitress. How hard can it be?
Okay. Hey, unrelated. How much do you tip?
Why would I tip?
Exactly.
He steps into Andrea's room and grabs her phone.
I'm calling them. You say you're sick.
He hands the phone to Andrea.
Hi, this is Andrea. I'm your employee. Yeah, I just wanted to say I love working there and I can't wait to be there for my shift. Bye.
She hangs up and tosses the phone to Grandpa.
I've been to restaurants before. I get the gist.
Fine.
Grandpa scurries around, grabbing Andrea's apron, work shoes, shirt.
Okay, it's just write down people's orders. The table numbers start at booth 100, which is right next to the door, and they count upwards in a clockwise manner. The free tables in the middle, that starts at 200 and counts upward from the front side to the kitchen.
Simple.
And the back room, but they don't usually open it up on Mondays. Just they'll give you a section. Write down orders. Your password for the computer is 456.
654. Got it.
Just tap the table number, tap the order, tap the green button. Any troubles, ask another server.
Bingo bango, literal cakewalk.
Keep the apron above the belt. Jerry, Mr. Willer, the owner, manager, boss guy is very anal about the uniform stuff and every stuff. And so just if you have any issues, just ask a server. And if it's too hard, just tell Mr. Willer you threw up and he'll send you home. Mondays are generally pretty slow. So there's an office nearby that sometimes
Slow down.
I told you, it's not easy.
I mean, you. Literally, slow down. You're gonna hurt yourself.
This is a bad idea.
Well, you've got all day to fix it, so bye.
Andrea exits. An hour later, Dad enters with an armful of clock-making materials and a nearly completed clock. He puts them on the table.
I work in here. When I do my clocks, I do them in here, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. Do clocks, that's okay.
Okay.
He works on a clock as Grandpa sits on the couch and takes out his, i.e. Andrea's, phone.
Because if it wasn't okay, this is where I do it. It's my house, so Is that Andrea's phone or?
Oh, she left it here.
Right. So you should put it down.
She, she it's, she wanted me to fix it. So,
Huh. Oh. Okay.
He goes back to work. After a moment, Grandpa takes out a credit card, Andrea's, and types in the information.
Is that Andrea's credit card?
no. I have my own credit. Why would I use Andrea's credit card?
Sorry, sir.
Grandpa finishes his purchase.
What, what's the clock you're making?
Uh-huh.
I want to hear about it if you want to tell me.
It's fine. I just want to.
I mean, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. You should make one that chimes whenever it's time for Grandpa to shut up. Though it might run out of battery like instantly. It just goes, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it every 5 seconds.
There's an idea. It's dumb. It's this one's like a later that day clock. It goes off every like 6 hours or so, like later that day. Never mind.
No, that's cool. I like it.
What?
It's swell stuff, Jiminy.
What?
Just, I absolutely understand it. You sit at home all day and you hear it. It makes you look up and go, well, I just wasted my whole day.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like it. That's a good clock there.
Yeah, I think it is a good clock.
Andrea enters.
Heidi, Heidi!
Grandpa hops up, scurries to her, and starts dragging her to his room.
Hey, can I take off my shoes?
Oh, well, okay, got a new clock.
That's lit, or,
Grandpa, with Andrea in tow, has reached the door to Andrea's room, but abruptly realizes that his room is the other bedroom. He makes an about-face and drags Andrea towards Dad's room.
Jesus, how is your grip this strong?
It's a later that day clock.
Grandpa brings Andrea into Dad's room and shuts the door.
Oh, well, have fun.
In Dad's room, Andrea jerks herself free.
Criminy. Police brutality, huh?
Okay, never mind. Just please tell me that I will still have a job to go back to.
Oh, you'll have a job, all right.
Why is that ominous?
How's that ominous?
Well, it sounds like you're threatening me. You're just missing a shaking fist and a why I oughta.
Maybe don't stereotype all older gentlemen.
Okay. How was work, dear?
You're worried about nothing, like I told you.
Well, that doesn't answer.
Look, I knew it would be easy. I just wasn't expecting it to be fun.
What do you mean?
I mean, it was fun. Am I not allowed to have fun at work? See, this is the problem.
No, stop.
I don't know why you millennials are just
my God, stop right now.
Just complain about money and whatnot when it's just the tips that people gave me factor in hourly, and that's not too far off from what I got at GM, and a lot less OSHA, I tell you.
Okay, look, I see what you mean, and I understand where you're coming from, but for the millennials and Gen Zers or so on, and it's not just about the money. It's about doing something that matters, because the world is screwed up and dying, and waitressing isn't going to solve or help any of that.
She takes out the thick wad of cash, today's tips.
Holy shit!
Yep.
Just from on a Monday afternoon? Oh my God!
You think they'd hire a Charmin 60-something?
Based on how your hips feel, like they're bone on bone, my guess, no. Charming? How did you? Was there like a big party or something, or?
And I just tried to, believe it or not, have fun.
I don't know what that means.
Well, next time, just try to flirt with the guys a little more. I know what guys like from a waitress.
No. Oh my God!
You're not as dowdy as you make yourself out to be.
This is my job.
I don't want to hear me whine.
I wish you didn't do that. Mr. Wheeler doesn't like that stuff.
I didn't have anything to say about it, if he even saw.
Oh, lucky you. Me, I mean, anyway, what I do, I put 85% of my tips in the bank for college every week.
Well, these are my tips.
From my job.
Andrea hands over the cash. And Grandpa hands Andrea a couple of bills.
Thank you.
I wasn't expecting to see you today. Why aren't you drooling into a cup at your retarded home?
Okay. I want to figure out how to swap back first.
Ha-ha!
Especially if we need to physically be in the same place to swap back.
I told you they're too depressing. Don't try to make me do something I wouldn't want you to make me do to you, to myself, yourself, myself.
You want to try that again?
Try what?
Anyway, I was doing some research today, and I ordered a spell online.
A mail order witch? What?
It's a website called Do It Yourself. They work with a network of independent witches and warlocks.
Uh-huh.
The people who identify as witches and warlocks, and they send you a box and with how to cast the spell yourself. Okay? And I ordered it. It'll be here in 3 to 4 business days.
Suddenly, night. Day 10. Grandpa has produced a small package. They speak in hushed tones.
It's here. It's here. It's here.
3 to 4 business days, my ass.
Our ass. But it is here, and that's what's important.
He starts opening the package with difficulty.
I want my fingers back, fingers back, fingers back. Oh.
Having trouble there, kid?
Got it. Here. I'm gonna hand you stuff.
He takes items out of the box, lining them up carefully on the dresser. Crystals, candles, etc. He hands Andrea a business card from the box as he looks over an instruction pamphlet.
Madame de Etoiles, Astrology and Alchemy, Spirits and Souls. Do all witches have a Yelp page?
She's a small businesswoman.
How much did he pay for this?
Okay, we're gonna need to put this on the ground.
Andrea starts putting the items on the ground.
And we're going to need to sit crisscross applesauce across from each other.
Ooh, you're gonna have trouble with that.
Grandpa tries lowering himself to the ground, but quickly begins moaning in pain. Andrea helps him to the ground.
Okay, this leg. There you go.
Thanks.
Andrea easily plops down to the ground. Grandpa looks at the instructions again.
So, we each have to put on these crystals, necklaces. It's moonstone and labradorite.
Oh, wow.
They put them on.
Okay, and we got the special candle between us. Okay, and we got the special oil, and we need to put on our hands.
And we need the special matchstick to light the special candle.
Oh, yes, good catch.
He roots through the box and grabs a match. He lights the candle.
All right, oil up.
Pervert.
She hands him the oil and he does the same.
All right, so now we grab hands and look into each other's eyes. You gotta take it seriously. Okay, now I read the spell. Gods and goddesses, hear my words. People are animals like fish and birds. I make this wish and cast this spell to take my soul and his, hers, his as well. Open my vessel and switch our places, so in the mirror we see different faces, from me to them, from this to that. Mutada corpus animam meme custoditat.
Ha, ha, whoa, whoa, what is happening?
Okay, not funny.
Yeah, well, that was a waste.
Look, I don't know. Then maybe we'll switch back in our sleep like we did originally.
Andrea stands.
All right. So let's sleep.
She offers her hands to help Grandpa stand up. As soon as he's risen, it's morning. Day 11. They stand in the morning light, unchanged.
Fuck!
Blackout. In the darkness, the morning chime. Then the morning chime again. Then the morning chime several more times. Day 19. The living room. Grandpa is on the couch reading from Andrea's big binder of college info. Andrea, wearing gym shorts, enters. Grandpa looks at her, looks at the gym shorts.
Hey.
Hey.
Andrea walks behind him and reads over his shoulder.
May I help you, sir?
On this is what? Your list of textbooks?
Yes, this is my list of textbooks.
Foundations of Medicine 1. Sounds like a good place to start, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, medicinal neuroscience. He fiddled with while your brain burned, you know that? Medical, gross anatomy, gross.
Okay, I
guess the question is, why do you even need to go to school? Why can't you just buy these books and read them at home?
If that's how you think it. Okay, this is my stuff. I don't see why you care.
Why am I not allowed to care?
You can care. You're not allowed to care. But it's difficult enough without you, like, making fun of me.
If you think that's making fun of you.
Okay, forget it. Forget it.
Jeez.
Just, you aren't the one going to school. So you aren't the one who needs to care.
Uh-huh.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Just that you won't be going to school if you don't swap us back.
Okay. I have done my research. I have done reading on karmic gurus. I have dove into the message boards and talked with some folk. I have watched some TED Talks. I have learned the general consensus is that we both need to be living calmly and normally in order to make our life forces calm and normal. Because once our life forces are calm and normal, they will naturally return to their proper vessels. Preparing for college, making sure everything is prepared and for and so on. That is calm for me. So like this past whole week has been such a blur. I gotta just center myself.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'll buy that.
Grandpa returns the binder.
Though our whole thing here probably just obliterates every accepted notion of science and whatnot. How do your textbooks deal with how magic is real now?
That is not calm.
Dad enters wearing his work uniform.
Heidi.
Grandpa elbows Andrea, prodding her to reply.
Couldn't fucking pay me.
What are you all up to?
I'm just showing Grandpa all these big, tough college books I need to pay to have taught to me if I want to do anything with my life.
Grandpa flips the binder upside down, making a big show of trying to read it.
Gee whiz. Good golly gosh. I know I'd never be able to figure out these big fancy doctor words. Andrea, I don't know how you do it.
Well, I'm happy you two are getting along. Be just as long as you're nice to each other and
Thank you for the encouragement, Grandpa. You are an angel and handsome, but I gotta go now. Yins, have fun.
She heads for the door. But
Where do you have to go?
Work.
You don't have to work today.
Well, I'm going for a run.
Really?
Why is this shocking?
it's good. We'll see you soon then.
Well, later, one of the other waitresses is having a birthday party, something. Might go to that.
Which waitress?
Fun.
Which waitress?
Chrissy.
Ah, I didn't realize you and Chrissy got along since, you know.
Ah, what did Chrissy do?
I couldn't say anymore. It was so long ago.
It really wasn't. And then I feel like,
You know, Andy's moving away soon, and she's allowed to spend time with her friends if she wants, okay?
Thank you. Stay off your lawn, old man. Bye.
She leaves. Grandpa stews. Dad goes to the table and sorts through his clock-making materials.
I'm glad that you and Andrea seem to be getting along pretty good.
This is accurate.
Okay. Sorry.
No, that's... We're getting along well. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You got any plans today, or?
Nope. You want to show me your clocks?
There they are. Garbage 1, garbage 2, so on.
I'm sorry. I was mean about your clocks.
Okay.
I was a big dick about your clocks. I'm jealous that you have any sort of artistic sensibility, unlike me.
Are you okay?
Yes. Show me your clocks. I like your clocks. Show me your clocks. Tell me about your clocks. I'm your father. I need your clocks.
In a way, you inspired my interest in clocks. Because as a kid, I could tell time on you because of how regularly you hit me. I mean, that's not funny. I don't. Just, it's clear that Andrea's rubbing off on you in a good way, if I can say that. Sorry.
She's a great kid. You did a great job. Just show me your clocks.
This one I call Momo because it chimes every few moments, like a few moments later. But people say it chimes too often, and it was one of my first ones, so
A few moments later,
now it's a few moments later, though it may be hard to tell. This was my first one. It was just a good old-fashioned classic clock.
Classic Vlasic.
Yeah, that's why it's green, like a pickle, and also shaped like a pickle.
Just like every classic clock. It's a joke. I like it.
Anyway, yeah, it just chimes on the hour. Nothing special, just a pickle with clock things on it.
an hour later,
I mean, I know pickles can't normally chime, but anyway, this is another one. So yeah, this one chimes on a weekly basis. So you can set it to a time, and so you can have it chime to remind you of when the next episode of your favorite show comes out, or something weekly, or yeah.
a week later, day 26. Grandpa is slightly fazed by this time hop, but snaps out of it like a weird bout of deja vu. Dad, however, is no longer the unconfident man of a week ago. He stands in front of his work, big smile, big jazz hands.
And that's clocks. This has been the longest silence.
The clocks are good. I like them. You're very talented.
Okay. But would you buy one? Like, for a friend or as a gift?
Maybe sand the wood a little bit more, because My eyes are getting splinters, but yeah, I think people would buy them.
Yeah, it's kind of just raw tree, but it's good though, and you haven't been bored just hanging around the house for weeks and listening to me go on about the. No, not that you can't hang around the house, but
It's fine. It's always nice to get to spend time with you.
so guess my art isn't so queer anymore then, huh?
No.
So I I'm sure you already know this or guessed it or but I just need to, make it official. And if you don't like it, then you can go. If I'm gay and
Wait.
proud. Oh,
What?
no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't be angry or upset or.
No, I'm not. I'm not angry. I'm just. I'm completely surprised. It's fine. I'm happy.
Just after the torment, and it's odd you're surprised.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize for the taunting and the bullying.
I can't accept your apology. Not today. But I think I will be able to. I will be able to accept your apology. Oh, it's been 3.5 weeks and I can tell you've really changed. And I don't know why you've been doing or what you've been doing the past couple decades, but it's been
no match for the past 3.5 weeks.
that Andrea. Something magical about that kid.
What about What about her mother?
What about her? She definitely knew I was gay. I didn't want to sleep with her, and I didn't enjoy sleeping with her. I was just proving to you I wasn't a queer gay virgin, and you'd leave me alone about it. Not trying to be a bummer.
It's unacceptable. My behavior. Not you getting dark. But you still slept with her.
Obviously. Only because she was very comforting and ease pudding. And I explained the situation to her, and she told me we didn't have to do it. I could keep the money, but you had a way of finding out everything. And besides, it was your money anyway. So it's not like that mattered, or I always thought you knew her. Like she was your little spy and she'd report back.
And
what? Your off-brand miser condom broke or was defective or whatever. I want a drink or something.
I don't drink.
Huh. I don't think I even have any alcohol, so. Poor girl was planning to go back to school when, so she stuck around town for the 9 months, resenting me. I remember thinking she was getting more and more resentful, the more like it was a scowling little fetus, shaking its little fist at me, little scrunched up face. And that made me resent you even more, hate you, obviously.
Then I beat you terribly because you wanted to abort the baby.
Adopt the put it up for adoption.
Right. That's what I meant. The other A word.
Asshole. That's a third A word. Apothecary. Anyway. Yeah. You were not wrong, not right, but still. I was furious. Until she was born. Then I understood. I still hated you, but I like to think that just made my love for Andrea even stronger in comparison.
And when did her mother die?
Did she die? I don't think she died. I look her up on Facebook every once in a while. She's a mail lady in Atlanta-ish. She scooted off basically right when Andrea was born, so don't see the point in reaching out, right? Because that being that soulless and cruel is a prerequisite for being a postal worker, huh? I kid. It's just a joke I make sometimes.
Why did you ever tell Andrea any of this?
Oh, no. I mean, as simple as it is, I'm happy now with how my life turned out. I don't want to change things, ruin things for her. And besides, the romance part of my life is over now, especially around here. I am dad. I'm where I'm meant to be. No. It's okay. You don't have to say anything else. Life is short. You live, you die. Just find contentment where you can. Just that you seem to understand and don't judge me. That is enough.
I understand. More than you will ever know.
And if it weren't for Andrea, gosh, my life would have no meaning. You did that. I always think about how if things were just a teensy bit different, because you ragged on me for weeks to not be a queer gay virgin. What if I'd done it a week earlier or a week later? Where would I be now? I used to think I was Mr. Unlucky for getting there that specific moment of the month, but now I know I'm Mr. Lucky.
Grandpa's eyes widen. He has a big idea. Nervously, Dad pats Grandpa on the knee, smiles, and stands up.
Okay. I gotta get ready for work. Yeah.
Dad exits. Night. Day 27. Grandpa still sits on the couch. Andrea enters, back from work. She takes off her apron, shoes.
Once a month.
Jesus, why aren't you in bed?
Once a month. Once a month.
Once a month, what?
Once a month. I looked at the calendar, and the night you arrived, it was a full moon. And that only happens
once a month. The first of the month. Once a month. The second of the month. Once a month. I want to take off my shoes now.
It was the full moon. We said the thing in unison, wishing that we'd be in each other's shoes.
Well, I remembered you cursing at me a bit more, but
Come on, the girl's room.
Grandpa drags her towards Andrea's room.
how is your body so draggable? My shoelaces are untied.
In Andrea's room, Grandpa seats Andrea on the bed.
Be seated. The full moon is in a couple more nights. That was the same
Circumstances?
Yes, the same setting as the night we swapped. I think, and do not correct me if I'm wrong, because I am not wrong. But if on the full moon we say the same wish at the same time, we should be able to swap back. We should be able to swap back, right?
Yes, I get the concept. I don't get why you're talking down to me.
Because I'm taller.
Grandpa grabs a couple sheets of paper, covered in both sides in writing. He hands one of the sheets to Andrea.
I wrote a bunch of wishes. I figure on the night after Dad's asleep, we'll go to your dad's room and just run them down one after the other.
Okay. I've learned my lesson. We've learned a lesson. We've learned our lesson. I wish for my own shoes. We wish for our own shoes. I wish for my body back. We wish for that. You have got a lot of free time.
It's called being exhaustive. Also, heads up, you're friends with Dad. My dad now. So don't ruin that. Please, please don't. And what battlefield are you sending me back into at the restaurant? Batten down the hatches.
None. I think people actually like you better now. Mr. Weiler, the girls, you're welcome, so don't ruin that. Plus, I had a couple other things to list here. I wish for $1 million. Make Grandpa in his 40s with a bigger dick. You can give yourself some bigger tits if you want. Girls like that too, right?
That's not how this works.
How do you know?
Please, take this seriously.
I am. I apologize. Woohoo!
He folds the list and puts it in her pocket. She gives Grandpa a thumbs up. Grandpa gives her a big hug.
Okay. Thank you.
He goes to the door and gives Andrea a thumbs up. She gives him a thumbs up. They do this for a bit. Grandpa eventually exits. Andrea exhales. She takes out the list again, silently looks it over, puts it back in her pocket. The stillness of night. Absent-mindedly, Andrea gently runs a hand over her cheek, her neck. Deliberately, she gently runs a hand down the length of her arm, then the other arm, then down her sides, her stomach, her legs. She wiggles her fingers, taking pleasure in the dexterity. She closes her eyes and slowly sways her hips. There's nothing sexual to this motion. Just the smooth, painless motion brings her a complex, simple joy. While swaying, she grabs her long hair and brings it to her face. It seems to comfort her. Suddenly, she stops swaying, drops the hair, almost seeming to snap out of a trance. She sits on the bed. Suddenly, morning. Day 30, Grandpa burst in, vehement.
Where the fuck were you?
Where was I for what?
What? The last thing we talked about.
I can't. No, what was it?
We just went over. Full moon, man. What else?
Oh.
I set up as late as your creaky, crabby corpse would let me.
Hey.
I don't know. You're wily. Maybe you hid under the kitchen sink, and I checked down there too.
'Cause feminine wiles means I'll hide under a sink?
Where were you?
Am I a rat? I wasn't here. The full moon is tonight, kid.
No.
Yes, ma'am. Huh. I guess I must have misread it.
Nah, bruh.
I did. I thought it was tonight, not last night.
Nope.
Next month, then. My birthday's in about a month. You want to have my birthday for me?
It's not funny. This is my life, okay? Where do you even have to go? It's my life that I have to go back into.
I was with my friends, your co-workers. I was making friends for you.
I don't need them to be my friends.
Yeah, and they could tell, and that's why they thought you were a dizzy, frigid bitch. But now they don't. You're welcome. You'd be surprised how many things I can change by going out for one drink with people.
I don't drink.
You know. You know, I wanted one last night to enjoy being young. Can you really blame me?
I can blame you for not knowing how to read a calendar.
And I've got you a gift.
She rolls up her sleeve. On her upper arm is a clear bandage, a fresh tattoo.
The fuck?
It's a thing from the old plant. Me and the old guys all have one.
Grandpa rolls up his sleeve. He has a tattoo on the arm in the same position.
Real tough tire, cool flames on it. Aw, something to remember this experience by.
I guarantee you, I don't need a tattoo to remember this experience by.
All right.
The memories of going to the bathroom are seared into my subconscious.
Oh, that's offensive.
And a waste of money.
Actually, no. Mr. Weiler paid for it as a going away gift. He's gonna miss your, newly chipper attitude.
You are paying for it to be removed once we swap back.
Am I?
I am. You am. We am. All am. The both is. We are. I are. You are. Both are.
Pal, buddy, hey. Welcome to Earth. Hello.
You are a nightmare shitting arthritic gremlin. Stop smirking. Why, It's 1 month. It's 1 more month. Nothing happens in a month. It's fine.
Things happen in a moment.
Nothing happens in a month. Canyons take a million years. Nightmares are nightmares. If you don't know they're nightmares, I'm lucid. I'm awake. I am me. We have a month.
A nightmare?
How did you misread a calendar?
I didn't. I've been thinking a lot about this. And from where I've been sitting, it doesn't seem like there was a sensible reason why we changed. So maybe, and this is my little theory I've been working on, maybe there's no sensible reason why we should change back. But hey, kiddo, you're right. I was proud of the hill of shit I planted my flag in, but thanks to God or Jew God or whichever God is looking out for me, and thanks to my, oh my God, I've been gifted another chance, and I'm not gonna question it. That's just the way it is, Gramps.
Blackout. Act 2. In the darkness, the weak chime. Day 37. Living room. Dad is seated at the table, the nighttime clock in front of him, big stickers spelling out Andre on it.
You doing all right? Thought you might have seen a spider or a terrorist. Well, squish it good, whatever it is, and bring me the other thing of letters. From the bag. Thank you.
Dad tries to open the sticker pack, but has a lot of trouble.
And maybe later today we can go for a walk, get some fresh tree wood. You feeling all right? Doing okay? Doing all right? Feeling okay? Okay, all right. Feeling, doing, dealing all right? Okay, all righto.
Huh?
Ah, he's alive.
Yes.
Just been kind of off to sea for a week, a little.
The cuckoo clock lets out a single cuckoo.
Yes, thank you. I'm just so queer, I'm worried about you.
Don't say
I am worried.
a week.
Week or so. I don't. Can you open this? Thanks. They only do one of each letter a pack. I thought I was gonna have to rename her Andre.
He's peeled off the A and completes Andrea's name on the clock.
We'll wrap it later. Her roommates will think she's so cool and lit. Bee's knees. Wiggity, wiggity, whacked.
No.
YOLO, chill and cool and hip and fresh and dank,
Oh, okay. I don't think.
sick, twisted, bad, funky.
Those aren't. Dad, no one says that.
Your dad. Think this is gonna make her too homesick?
No.
Oh. I just want her to know when to get a good night's sleep and not stay up all night partying and becoming lit.
She. I've never thought of Andrea as a real party girl.
Up late studying, then.
Grandpa picks up the clock, really looks at it.
Where is she?
Oh, you know.
I feel like I haven't seen her in a week.
Oh, I've seen her in spits and spurts. She's been out with her friends and at work and...
It's weird that she just started all of a sudden staying out late. And
She's young. She's about to be on her own.
all of a sudden, though,
Huh?
she's never really had friends before.
And it's bad she has friends now?
Seems she's just, I don't know, being very thoughtless.
You think so?
All of a sudden, she has dinner with you almost every night. Now she doesn't. She's just...
Kids will be kids. Nothing to worry about.
Andrea hasn't been a kid in a decade. Just say, I'm concerned with how very different she seems to be.
Well, I'm her dad, so...
She got a tattoo. Did you know that? some auto workers thing, the one that I have.
Huh. Well, her body, her choice.
Grandpa puts the clock back down.
Do we have oranges and a needle?
Yeah.
Grandpa gets up and heads towards the kitchen.
I need orange slices, a needle, ice, and a lighter.
He's gone. Dad hangs the clock back on the wall. The Andrea stickers are plainly visible.
She'll see that.
He puts a napkin on the clock to try and cover the stickers. It doesn't work.
Well, dang.
Ow!
Dad?
Grandpa enters, paper towel to his bloody earlobe. Dad rushes over, but Grandpa swats him away.
I'm fine.
What? Did you pierce your ear?
I'm fine.
Grandpa pushes by him and goes into Andrea's room. Grandpa grabs one of Andrea's earrings and puts it into his newly pierced ear. He looks at himself in the mirror, finding a newfound steely resolve.
Okay.
He grabs his phone and morning. Days 38 to 42.
Oh, hi. Hi there. Hi, hello. I'm interested in making a reservation for tonight, and okay, I had I don't know, 6 people. I was just 8:30. I'm just. Oh, good. I'm glad business is going well. I'm just curious. No. It's no one's birthday. You must be the new girl, huh? Right. If I may speak, I was just wondering if I could speak to Andrea. Is working tonight. If we could be seated in her section. Oh, she's not. Okay.
He hangs up. Morning. Grandpa calls again.
Well, good morning to you. I was just there for dinner a few nights ago or so, and I think I lost my glasses. I know. I need them to see even. I think I was sitting in. Do you have an Amy or an Ashley? You know, some sweet girl with an A name. Andrea, yes. I was sitting in her section. Is she there? You don't need to check the lost and found. And if Andrea's there, I can. Oh, okay. Well, do you know when she'll be in? Later today or tomorrow, or? Well, thanks.
He hangs up. Morning. He calls again.
Hi. That was more than 3 rings. Okay, I'm glad you're busy. Is Andrea working today? No, you don't need to ask for your manager. Can you just check the schedule and look for her name? Because she served me last time, and hoo-wee, she made me horny.
Grandpa angrily hangs up. Morning. He calls again.
Hi.
A few moments later.
Hello.
Hour.
Howdy.
Later that day.
Is
Morning. Later that day.
Is Andrea?
Morning.
'Cause I'm her grandfather, and I haven't seen her in 2 weeks, and I need to know she's okay.
Day 43. In the living room. Andrea enters. Dad is there.
Heidi. Heidi, how have you been?
I'm fine. Can't stop and chat. I just need to grab some hair, rubber bands, and then go to work.
Okay, well, we'll have to get dinner sometime soon.
She heads towards her room.
Uh-huh. The clock is saying Andrea now.
Yeah. It's for your dorm room, if you want it, or well,
All right.
She goes into Andrea's room. Andrea and Grandpa gasp upon seeing each other. Grandpa puts the phone away.
Hi.
Hey.
Grandpa steps toward her. Andrea tries to keep her distance. They seem to be circling each other.
You've been okay? I've been worried sick.
Get well soon, I guess.
I've been a parent for a month and already I'm a cliche?
Grandpa's positioned himself, blocking the door.
Uh,
You've been busy and having fun and around?
work.
Oh, cool. Because I called work a lot and asked for you, and you never seem to be there.
Yeah, I know. The host told me a creepy old guy kept asking about me.
Should I have been creepier? I was trying to capture your essence.
Well, I was at work.
24/7.
Work? Seeing friends.
You can't call them your friends.
Why not? We're friendly.
No, you're not.
Yes, we are.
No, you're not.
Nice earring.
Thanks. I'm radiant. What do you do with my enemies?
Paint each other's nails and have pillow battles.
I won't be mad.
We go out, grab a drink. Nothing special.
See? I'm not mad. Down at the hatchet hole?
Is there another place to go to around here?
Are you drinking responsibly?
Liver's still delivering.
And it's just you and the girls, right?
As opposed to...
You and the girls and boys.
What's your point?
You're not... you haven't been with the boys or...
Oh, the fuck? Oh.
Okay.
Oh, get real. Oh.
So you can see why I'd want to know, because if you were...
Yeah, you are the creepy old man. Oh.
It's... No!
This, absolutely, and quite literally, does not affect you in any way. Now I need to go to work. Do you want Mr. Weiler to fire me?
I'm not trying to be creepy. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm not trying to upset you or anything.
It is upsetting on countless levels.
But I've been thinking maybe I'll go to work today instead. So sorry.
Sorry, hun. I think the outfit's a little small for you.
She tries to exit, but Grandpa aggressively blocks the door.
Excuse me.
You know, it's my job. It's my job. And if I can just explain to Mr. Willer.
Okay, yeah. Let's hear you explain that.
She tries pushing again to no avail.
No.
Stand aside.
When will you even be back again? It's my job. If we just can act like our real selves, maybe other people would just go along and everything can be just...
Ah, I'm worried that'll confuse your caramel essences.
If people just go along with it, then it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter, and it can be good, and I just haven't been outside. I just want to go outside. I've been here for so many weeks. I can't. I just have to go outside. It's my job. It's my job, and it's my brain, and I feel like my brain isn't my brain anymore. I just want my brain to...
He starts grabbing at her head, her brains. She easily bats his hands away.
Ew, geez, come on. You are not a waitress. I'm not going to some retirement home or...
But
Stop. Listen. In terms you might understand, you're not wanting to stack a parent trap on a Freaky Friday. You cannot stack low hands.
you reek of alcohol. Hit the showers.
This is the only time I'll let a creepy old man comment on my smell.
She roughly elbows past him into the living room. Andrea breezes to the door and starts putting on her shoes. Grandpa follows.
Oh, that's not the shower.
What? It's not?
Take a shower.
They've got sinks at work.
Don't you dare.
Heading out already, sweetie?
Little Missy, you're staying where you are.
Oh, drats. Oh, gee, mister.
She finishes putting on her shoes. Grandpa starts stepping closer. Andrea grabs a shoe from the box of shoes and holds it up. A threat.
Yeah, take one more step.
Whoa.
Put that down.
Heavy shoe. Take one more step. It's heavy shoe.
Really big shoe.
Lad, son, she can't make her. If you.
Andrea hurls the shoe at him.
All right, that's enough.
Jesus, the heck?
You'd understand. Trust me.
Okay.
And now I have to go to work.
He opens the door.
Dad, please stop her.
See you yins later. Maybe.
She leaves. Grandpa runs across the room, chasing after her.
No, this is unacceptable. No, Andrea. You come on.
He's made it outside, but barely gets a couple steps onto the front porch before freezing. He starts breathing heavily, the onset of a panic attack. He quickly steps back inside, confused by this involuntary reaction.
What?
Hey, are you feeling okay?
I said to stop her.
Has to go to work. You can talk to her later.
When I say to stop her, you need to stop her.
I don't know what's going on. It looks like you did something to upset her, so just...
Is that what it looks like, huh?
I don't know what's going on. I can't just... Look.
You look. Don't. She's been your best friend for 21 years. You've been her only friend for 21 years. She worships and loves you, and can't you sense that for some weird, unearthly reason, the second she's realized that she can leave town, she suddenly dropped you?
It's a father-daughter thing, you know?
It's not your daughter. How do you not realize that?
Okay, I think you might be...
What?
Overreacting.
You fucking bleak little worm. She cannot behave like that with no consequences.
I don't know.
You listen to me. You pussy bitch. She is being cruel and manipulating, and you and me, and you will let her do that, and she is not allowed to go to college unless she genuinely apologizes.
It's so soon. I can't just...
Yes, you will.
I don't want to...
You will.
This isn't... No.
This is you.
Without even thinking about it, Grandpa removes his belt. Dad immediately jumps back, cowering.
She leaves in less than 3 weeks.
Okay.
She will be back.
Okay.
And you will tell her she cannot leave us.
Okay.
I love you.
Dad slinks off stage. Morning. Days 44 to 51. Grandpa makes a phone call.
Hello, good morning. Well, I'm doing all right. How about yourself? Oh, good. Yeah, I have an admissions question. No. For my darling, good granddaughter, Andrea Robbins, with 2 B's. Oh, yeah. She's very excited to start. She won't stop talking about it because. Right. Well, that's. Well, I'm calling because I want to access her college account. I guess. She's off at work right now, but she asked me to call and well, that's fair. I guess that's fair. That's a pretty good policy. Yeah, that's very secure. That's a good policy. Good job.
Morning. Grandpa.
Hi. Admissions questions for you. Andrea Robbins with 2 B's. Oh yes, yeah, she's very excited to start. Won't stop talking about it because. So my question: can I change her status from attending to not attending? Well, it's absolutely her decision, but no, she's at work, but so no, I can't get her on the phone. So, oh, come on, I'm a grandfather, so
They've hung up.
unbelievable, very unprofessional.
Morning.
Well, good afternoon. Admissions question regarding Andrea Robbins, 2 B's. Great. So, hypothetically, can you guys answer a hypothetical? Okay, great. So I've had you guys hang up on me before. Yes. So if Andrea were unable to attend for some reason, would she hypothetically be able to transfer her acceptance to someone else? Well, like if she decided not to go, could someone else go in her place? But what if the person is a family member and can? But if they can prove if they're capable of. Oh my God. Thank you.
Morning.
Hi, Andrea Robbins.
Morning. Morning.
Admit.
Morning. Morning.
Admissions. Sorry, not yelling at you. It's forget it. Oh no. It's my first time calling. Might be your other grandpa. Well, he's a bit of a dirty old fuck. Yes. Actually, that's kind of why I'm calling. That poor other grandpa just had a heart attack and. Well, thank you. That's very sweet of you, but you can understand how the whole family's shaken up a bit, and Andrea's at the hospital right now, and well, I'm worried that she's a bit unfocused at school with it starting so soon, and oh, good. So you do deferments. But just a semester or 2 till everything's sorted out. Yeah. Oh yes, I think I can. I give her a call herself. Yeah. No. Thank you. Very helpful. This is your campus part-time job. Is that a good gig? Well. I'll let Andrea know. Thank you.
Satisfied, Grandpa sits on the couch. Finally, with a moment to relax, he starts nodding off, As he falls asleep, the lights shift to early morning. Day 52. Andrea enters from her bedroom and looks at one of the clocks, quietly tracking the time.
And good morning.
I think I fell asleep.
You'll hurt your neck.
She walks off towards the kitchen.
Well, don't go.
Relax.
She exits.
Is Dad at work?
Where else would he go?
Andrea re-enters with a cup of coffee. She offers it to him. He's reluctant to take it.
All right, fine. You're gonna want to be awake.
How long have you been home?
I sleep here every night.
No, you don't.
I do. You can come peek in and watch me sleep every single night. I come home at 10:30 every night. I wake up and leave by 6:55 every morning.
No, you don't.
I do. Your body, rather. The old man has trouble staying awake past 10. He wakes up at exactly 7:07 every morning, give or take 4 minutes. It's been this way for years. It'll be that way forever.
Well, that's
true. I'm here every night. I'm here more than he thinks, but you have a hard time hearing me because his ears are shot from decades of manufacturing. And if you do hear me, you'll have a hard time turning because of an ancient back injury his old dad told him to be a man about. And if you do hear me and see me and try to follow me, you'll have a hard time with the crippling agoraphobia. It took him years and years of hard work to overcome without the help of a neurologist or psychiatrist or whatever you want. So think about that.
why
Why am I telling you this? Because I owe it to you to be on the level with you. You need to realize that the only times you'll ever see me are when I want you to see me. You're the one making this into a game. It isn't a game. You can stop trying. It's over.
But
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
but we need to swap. You'll get your periods and
Yep. I mean, I've only had one so far, and yeah, it's the fucking pits, but I'd rather be a young girl going off to college than...
my body's got issues too. I eat too much junk food. If we swap back,
Oh, no. I guess I'll have to not do that. You know that itching, bitterness at the back of your throat? That's the alcoholism. You've been using my flask? Drinking water out of that helps somatically. But you probably all know that psychosis from
I'm not you.
Tell that to 65 years of hard work. Young bodies are malleable.
Stop!
I don't fucking care about your fucking sweet tooth or whatever. Her habits aren't in her bones.
There's a lot of stuff you don't. People aren't gonna like you.
Boo-hoo.
You're a girl. No one will listen to you or take you seriously.
Yeah, that sounds like a you issue.
You'll find out. You'll want to switch back, so.
Wow, you're rubber on you. Whatever bounces off of me is... Fuck off. Look, you don't want to waste this little energy you have on this. I'm honestly here and just trying to help you.
Oh?
And, what, people won't take me serious? People take me serious every day. More serious than they take you, huh? Tell me you made more than this.
You know I didn't.
Uh-huh.
But that's...
Hush.
She starts throwing bills at him, one by one, every time he tries to talk.
Stop that.
Sure.
That's not...
It's okay.
That's
Easy there.
They want to...
You want money, yeah?
They're gross.
All
The
you
guys,
talk
they're
about
just-
how broke you are.
they're just-
Oh, they want to fuck me. I'm not your
They
mother.
want to...
Take more than a few tips.
They want to... Come on. You know that. We have to swap back. We...
Yeah, no.
Dad enters, returning home from work. Andrea and Grandpa freeze. Dad takes in this odd scene.
Probably shouldn't do that. So, I guess you have been acting a bit off lately, sweetie.
Not particularly.
All right, I'm gonna take my big sleep and we'll talk about it this afternoon.
We could talk about it first.
Yes, we can. You've been a bit off lately, and
I disagree.
yeah, you have. And you know, I've been thinking that if this is how you think it's okay to behave, I don't know how comfortable we are with you living on your own and
You aren't comfortable, huh?
yes or no, we're not. I mean, when the FU admissions office opens today, you're gonna call them and gonna tell them that you're deferring until next semester. You hear me?
I think your dad's right, kiddo.
Yeah. They're not gonna put up with this behavior in college.
Yeah, because either Yins would know, right? Yeah, you know, this is cute. This is quaint. Gonna tell an industrious young lady she can't use her own money and own smarts to do her big, smart college time. You two are being sexist and reverse ageist.
Hold up.
You hold up.
Whoa.
Okay. I'm not upset with you. I know he put you up to this. It's okay. I'll write you every week.
That's...
Oh, Gramps, I know you'll miss me, but little Robin's gotta fly away. And what is it, in like a week or so? Sentimental already. I'm gonna miss this place. Guess I'll see Yins at Christmas.
No.
No, it's okay. If you love something, let it go. As a remember me, you can keep the money.
She exits.
Well, but it is her money, so...
Grandpa rises. Morning. Days 53 to 58. It's morning. Grandpa gasps, caught off guard by the sudden passage of time. He turns to Dad, but Dad has disappeared. Grandpa stands there, lost and alone in an eerie, hellish light, struggling to formulate a plan. Morning. Again, Grandpa is caught off guard and his panic increases. He starts looking around the room for a sign, some sort of clue as to what to do.
Okay.
Morning. He scurries to Andrea's room. Upon entering, morning. The chime seems to have a physical effect on him, like a gust of powerful wind, but he pushes back against it, persevering. He grabs a suitcase and starts shoving Andrea's clothes into it. Grandpa mutters to himself, his hands shaking. He zips it shut and zooms to Dad's bedroom and stuffs some of Grandpa's clothes into it. He zips it shut and starts wheeling it towards the front door.
Kahn!
Another gust of wind, but he pushes through in pain, trying to reach the front door as if his life depended on it. Morning. More pain, more obstruction. Grandpa moans, walking through quicksand, his hand outstretched, reaching for the front door. If he could just touch it, maybe things will be okay. He's so close now, inches away. He reaches the door just as morning. Day 59. The lights have returned to normal, as if this hellish past week was just a dream. This jarring transition addles Grandpa. Dad enters.
Heidi, Heidi, Heidi! You're not moving, are you?
Oh, what day is it?
It's Friday.
Okay. All right.
What's up? Are you moving?
Somebody has a big flight on Sunday. It's either her or me. And it's going to be her.
I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but it seems as though for a while now that something's been going on that I've not been made aware of.
Grandpa finally reaches his tipping point. He hugs Dad.
Daddy, I need your help.
Okay.
Daddy, please. Please, I can't do it.
Tell me and I can try to help.
I can't do it.
I want to know what's going on.
Please.
Here, let's have a seat and figure it out, okay?
Dad gently brings him to the couch and they sit. Night. Again, the time hop disorients Grandpa.
You feeling better?
Andrea enters. She hangs by the front door.
Heidi, Heidi, Heidi!
What's the emergency?
Huh?
What's the emergency?
The emergency is you're about to leave for college and we haven't seen you in a week.
Okay.
She gets halfway out the door, but
Andrea, like it or not, we're your family. The least you can do is respect us and not treat us like an inconvenience.
Andrea closes the door.
I have work.
No, you don't. I called Mr. Willers and told him you're sick. You don't have work. We ordered pizza. You're going to have one last dinner with your family before moving so far away, okay? You're going to sit.
Andrea sits with the men.
Pizza, huh?
Pepperoni mushroom.
I don't like mushroom.
Yes, you do.
I'll pick it off.
I'll take them.
Good. It's a fungus.
Grandpa should have named me Gus then. Because I'm fun.
How long ago did you order?
You can wait. Look,
Oh,
Andrea, I don't know what's been up with you this summer, but I miss my daughter, okay? I miss my best friend. I don't know if you think that being mean and being rude and will make it easier to move away, but it won't. We're Andrew Dad. And I'll be not happy if college changes that.
Andrea, Dad?
I love you, Andy.
I'm really starting to realize that Grandpa made some serious mistakes raising you.
Yeah. So we body swapped a couple of months ago. Yeah, so the first night he moved in, we said something on the full moon and it made us body swap. It was a Freaky Friday. We did the full Freaky Friday, and Andrea, I've been trying to swap back, but he has been avoiding. That's why he's been so absent and mean. The last chance to swap back is the full moon tomorrow night, and Dad, you are my dad. Tell him he has to swap back with me tomorrow night. Even if you gotta tie him down and sprinkle him with the holiest of water. He is avoiding me, and I'm going on my own flight, whichever body I am in. Tell him.
I am so sorry. I had no idea what he was wanting to have this meeting for. I was worried you were on drugs.
Dad, I would never.
No!
Dad.
Thief! Thief!
Oh my God, Grandpa, cut it out. See, this is what I've had having to deal with for 2 months now. You want to know why I've been acting weird? Just.
I'm so sorry.
Andrea takes out the list of swap phrases and hands it to Dad.
Look at this bullshit. He's drove off the quarry. You want to know why I'm out late and gone early and on edge all the time? Because my own grandpa's lusting after my body.
No!
You think I feel safe sleeping in my own house while someone else wrote that is panting over me in the other room? I would have told you, but I saw how much you were finally getting along, and I loved that, and it meant so much to me, and I thought I'd be able to handle it until Sunday. I'm so sorry, Dad.
No.
Quiet.
No.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking you can handle this, especially on your own.
You think that?
I did some research a bit ago on retirement homes. There are some good ones nearby that should have some vacancies still with good mental health care.
You know, I did think it was kind of weird how he seemed to have almost completely forgotten about all the I just wanted a dad.
I know. It's okay. Might be a little too late now, but when I'm through with school, it's my mission to make sure no other grandpas have to go through this.
Go to hell.
Dad! It's okay. You should go hang out with your friends. I can take care of this.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Grandpa rises, silently reaching out. She exits. Morning, day 60. Dad is still on the couch. Grandpa, standing, is disoriented once more.
It is not morning. No. I did not sleep.
I want you out of my house.
No, she's lying. She's lying. She's lying.
You need to get out of my...
No, come on. Ask me something only Andrea would know. I know it. Anything secret.
You could tell me everything about her 10th birthday party or the first boy she kissed. That...
Andrea doesn't kiss boys. Bet you didn't know that.
Tell me the whole story of her life and bring me to tears. It would not make body swapping any more possible. I really hope that you'd... Grab your bag. I called Andrea's retirement place. They know you're coming. They know it's an emergency.
I'm not going to that place.
And they said you might say that and that they have some big buff guys who can come down and take you there. Your choice.
Just one more night.
Dad.
Just one night. One night. One more night. Huh? One night? One night. Just one night. I can... One night. It's my birthday tomorrow, right? I can't spend my birthday in a retirement home.
God.
Please. I'm begging you. I would get down on my knees if I could. You want me to? I will. I will get on my knees, and it will hurt my knees, but I will meet the ground.
Okay. Last night,
Thank you.
and you have to sleep on the couch.
Okay.
It's a bad couch.
Okay.
Don't touch my food.
Dad exits into his bedroom. Grandpa sits on the couch. Night. The chimes are slow as the lights gradually transition to night. Dad falls asleep as Grandpa struggles to remain awake. He takes out the list of swap phrases. Despite his best efforts, he starts nodding off. He's almost out completely when Andrea enters. Grandpa snaps up. She remains at the door.
Oh, good. Come on, we got to do the thing. I made you another copy in case your first one is in some evidence locker somewhere. All right? I've learned my lesson. Come on! You never finished high school. What are you going to do at college? I've learned... Are you okay? Don't be drunk. Don't make my body alcoholic too.
You're not an alcoholic.
What is that?
You're not an alcoholic. I drank, but I'm not. We're not an alcoholic, okay?
Who are you drinking with?
You have a chocolate and not be fat, and you can get drunk without being drunk.
Who were you drinking with?
They're the same people, your blessed enemies.
Which people?
Or whatever. The restaurant. Who else? Mr. Weiler and people had it's a end of summer party. It's people.
Did you?
You know, the people, Yin's got your apron club with them or.
Did you do any
whatever.
drugs?
Don't think so. Nah, I didn't.
Come closer.
I don't want
I can't hear you. Come closer. Closer. Look at me. Are you cold?
No,
Did you do any drugs?
no. I'm just drunk, okay? I need to lie down.
What happened? Did someone say something to you or...
Just let me, okay, let's, I learned my lesson.
What happened?
And learn the it's dark. I can't see the.
The grandpa, what did you do?
What did you do?
It's...
You can't. Not a big deal. You'll be okay. You would have done the same thing too if you were there too, and I wanted to. So it's. No one's back. No one's. Just didn't expect it to hurt that much.
Grandpa, livid, leaps from his chair, swatting at her.
You come here! You come here! Come here!
He gets a hard slap in. Andrea drunkenly leaps back and Grandpa falls to the ground hard. Dad, still asleep, tosses a bit. Grandpa voicelessly gasps in pain. The wind knocked out of him. Andrea steps back, looking down at him.
Oh. That's I look like. Oh.
Grandpa grabs at her foot, her leg.
Ugh.
With her foot, she gently nudges his hands away.
Ow.
I'm barely touching you. It's my middle toe. You weakling fucking coward.
She nudges him with her foot, as if inspecting a strange carcass in the woods. As she goes on, she starts to cry. Her nudges become more aggressive, becoming shoves and kicks.
Fucking coward. Fucking loser, weakling. Fucking asshole loser, coward, fucking faggot. What, you fucking waste, you fucking waste the fuck. You shell, you waste, you fucking waste, you shell of bones, you sack, you waste, you bones, you're just bones, just stop!
She stomps on his hip. Crack.
Ah!
Dad wakes up and rushes in. Andrea steps back.
What's Dad?
He fell, he tried to step. He fell and he hurt.
Dad? Andrea, call 911.
Andrea nods and Stumble runs out the front door.
Dad, it's okay. I'm here. It's okay. It's fine. It'll be okay. Just breathe.
Day 61. Outside, Andrea, alone and miserably hungover, squints in the morning light. She comes to terms with what she did. She takes a moment, then exits. Living room. Grandpa is out cold in Dad's bedroom. Dad is seated on the couch, Andrea's college binder on his lap. Andrea enters.
Hey,
Hi.
we need to talk.
Okay.
Can you come over here? Have a seat.
She sits next to him.
Okay, so your grandfather isn't going to make it. It's I don't know, a bunch of medical, his hip is completely just dust, basically, and that with other issues he had, and now just shards of, and they said it really wasn't, that he might be more comfortable here. Heavy duty, just pain pills, and why didn't I reach out sooner? Or why? I could have.
Andrea slowly gives him an uncomfortable, comforting pat on the back.
Happy birthday to him, I guess. Did you get a pick up a little hat? It's just joking. Anyway, I can't have you resent that I resented him. You know, yesterday he begged me to stay one more night. But I don't know if he went to the home like he was supposed to, maybe he wouldn't have.
Don't.
They got the big guys there.
It's not your fault.
With a big gesture, Dad puts the college binder onto her lap.
Open it.
Andrea opens it. In the front pocket, there's an envelope. She opens it.
Holy shit.
As Dad speaks, Andrea takes out the contents, a large wad of cash, big bills.
I know you have your scholarships and you'll have a part-time job and stuff, but I want to be able to help in even a little way.
This is a big way.
To help with your textbooks a little, or even just make it so you have to work a couple less hours a week, or...
Yeah. This'll,
And I know you'll have like lab fees and have to like run your little experiments and have to pay your guinea pigs, and not real guinea pigs, but yeah, and pizza for late night study sessions, cramming for exams. I've only ever learned about college from movies. I'm so proud of you. I know it's going to be hard and long, but I know you got the mind for it. And that's ever since you were a little girl. That's never not impressed me, Dr. Robbins. I know you have your flight tonight, so don't worry about me. I got all the numbers to call, and I'll be fine. I love you.
I love you too.
Go say bye to your grandfather.
Andrea rises and goes to Dad's room. In Dad's room, Andrea hangs out by the door. Grandpa squirms. Andrea impatiently waits until there's been an appropriate amount of time. Grandpa wakes up, sees Andrea, and starts to mumble and slur.
Hmm? Good meds, huh?
From the living room, the cuckoo clock starts to chime. Dad is confused. It's not even on the hour.
As you might say, been real.
He bolts upright.
Well,
He holds out his hand for a shake. He is desperate. The real final chance.
Nice to meet you. Nice to see you.
Andrea, uncertain, reaches out her hand. She comes within an inch of Grandpa's before stepping out of it. She backs up to the door.
no. No.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Andrea exits. She slams the door behind her, coinciding with the final cuckoo. Blackout. In the darkness, the week chime, then another, and another. They keep coming, playing over each other. A cacophony of thousands of weeks fly by. It's never over. A master bedroom in an unfamiliar house. Andrea lies asleep in bed, alone. Suddenly, she snaps awake, gasping and shaking as if from a nightmare. She looks at her hands. She's never seen these hands before. Unfamiliar and with a wedding ring. She hops out of bed with a youthful energy, but then winces in pains. What's wrong with her hips? She gently hobbles over to a mirror and looks at herself. Whatever she sees is at once familiar and foreign. Is this still a nightmare? The door creaks open. Her husband sneaks in, carrying a breakfast tray. Big candles shaped like 65 stick out of the food. He sees Andrea out of bed.
Well, it's... and a good morning to you, too. It's going to be easier to eat this back in bed, I'm thinking.
What the fuck? 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 What?
All right. I know you weren't looking forward to this birthday, but I can tell you from experience that it's not as bad as all that.
I'm not 65.
Okay, let's have your breakfast and we'll find you a 65 and up support group.
As he gets closer, she grabs the first thing she finds and brandishes it like a weapon.
Don't you stay away, stay back.
Hun.
A ghoul.
Oh, honey, are you okay?
You stay back.
Okay.
You stand by the door.
All right. Okay.
He goes by the door, clear across the room from Andrea. She still has her weapon brandished.
Are you all right?
You stay there. I have questions.
And I've got answers.
Shut up. Is today my birthday?
Yeah.
Am I 65 now?
Yes.
The candles are Ruth candles? And do I look 65 too?
Hun.
Shh. So I do. Oh boy. And you're my husband.
Can I talk? I know you weren't looking forward to this birthday, but if you're joking with me, please tell me now, because you don't like this kind of joke. This isn't the kind of joke I like.
I'm more scared than you are.
Oh. Well, I'm not scared. I just didn't know if I was supposed to laugh or not. So now I know not to laugh. Well, I'm gonna still be here because I live here. And because I'm a little bit worried. Though, we've got some plans today that I'll have to get canceled, I'm thinking. I just want to make the bed if you're not getting back into it. All cattywampus. You know how I get. Do you think you caught the amnesia or something?
How long have we been married?
Close to 40 years, but who's counting? Didn't realize that'd be so hard for you to hear.
No, I don't understand. I just literally do not understand where the time has gone.
Well, you're not the first golden olden who's realized that. Time flies when you're having fun.
No, I don't think I'm crazy.
You know that's why I married you.
Oh my God. I mean, literally crazy. I was just young days ago. Not even days. It was hour, minutes ago. I was young.
Uh-huh.
And then this isn't hell, right?
I think hell would be lucky to have food this good.
If you're the devil, you have to tell me. It's entrapment.
Well, at least you got your sense of humor.
You say well a lot.
Well, it's a bad habit. Okay. My recommendation is I think you should have your breakfast. I'll take the candles out of here if they're too existentially terrifying.
Thank you.
Bet you're hungry, I'm thinking.
I'll have it standing over here.
Okay.
He brings her the tray and takes the candles out, pretending they're haunted as he takes them to the trash can. She eats. He sits on the bed and watches.
What?
Well, Chippy, I just like looking at you. Chippy Monk.
It's good. Thank you.
Just doing my job.
A plan comes to her. She starts rubbing the back of her head.
Oof. Oh. You know, maybe I went to the bathroom last night and hit my head or something. Because I do think I got amnesia.
Well, I'm not the expert, but
I have questions.
Hun, I will answer every question you have. Shoot.
It's like 2060 or something now.
Or something, yeah.
Okay. And what city are we in?
Pittsburgh. Well, for the past few years. Before, we were in Pittsburgh.
And now we've grown up and finally moved 2 hours down the road.
Well, I was always wanting to move to the city, but but you were always the adamant one, and never really wanted to move.
That's depressing.
It is what it is. At the end of the day, I don't have any regrets about all of it. So, what you gonna do?
Yeah, but we've gone places, right? On vacations and
No, yeah. We've gone everywhere. Europe and Disney World, California, all over. I've got pictures somewhere. If that
no. Sounds like we've had a nice time, probably.
Well, not to upset you further, the Europe trip was for your 50th birthday, and you loved every second of it.
And I'm sorry, but what's your name?
This is a real big amnesia, huh?
I'm sorry. You seem very nice. I'm sorry I'm ruining my birthday for you. You look so much like my grandfather. It's freaking me out.
Weird. But you've always idolized your grandfather, so I should take that as a compliment, I'm thinking. Well, name's Gerald. Nice to see you.
That creep.
Huh?
Nothing. Oh. Yeah.
Do you need ice?
No, no. I think I'm remembering something.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I was in my 20s and I left for college.
Uh-huh.
A faraway university.
Right.
And I did great. And I had a great time and I went off to med school. No.
Well, yes. I mean, you did go to Faraway for a semester, and you came back because it was too hard. You said, or you lost your scholarship, or I don't remember. It was so long ago. You haven't even brought it up for who knows how long. So
Of course it was too fucking hard.
well, I think my answers are having diminishing returns.
You think?
Well, I'm. Well, Wilbert should be here soon. The surprise, birthday surprise. But he'll be able to help. So might as well just sit and wait. Don't want to
Who's Wilbert?
aggravate you too much. Wilbert's our son.
What?
So it's a birthday surprise for a couple of reasons. That's nice.
That violating.
And Wilbert's bringing his little guy, so
I'm a grandma?
like a great grandma.
What?
No. You are a grandma who is great.
Would you?
What I what?
Nothing. Tell me about Wilbert.
Oh, boy, well, he's 41. He's allergic to eggs. He lives on the West Coast and he flies out for Thanksgiving. He absolutely idolizes you. It's very sweet. And you were great with him. A real born natural mother, right? And talking about your college history, because you made him determined to be the first in our family to go to college, and he did.
Oh, wow.
Wow, right? Wow, and the hard work and the very hard work he did it all for you. He studied the neurology and the brain and memory science. He keeps telling me that
Is he working and successful?
right, the words for huh? Yeah. He's successful. You've seen this house, right?
I've never seen this house before.
Right. Well, so yeah, whatever your amnesia problem is, but Bertie's seen this issue countless times.
I highly doubt it.
Well, the breakthroughs he's been part of, he's seen it all, I'm thinking.
And I'm very proud of him. Thanks.
Hell wishes they had me cooking for him.
So I'm 65?
It's not all that bad. Well, I'm even older.
My grandpa died at 65 on his 65th birthday.
Well, medicine's better now, and women live longer, so if it's a familiar thing you're worried about...
Where's my dad? Is he alive? He'd be in his 80s, right? So he couldn't be if
Hun, let's wait and see what Wilbert's got.
Why? What happened?
Well, he's not alive.
Uh-huh.
It's around. It's been like 30 years now. You know, he used to make all those clocks, and the details are fuzzy, but I guess he was using some wood from some, like, protected trees, federally protected trees, something real wacky in them. I don't know. But it was against the law, taking the wood, and they really wanted to set an example, like that lady who got fined 6 figures for torrenting or whatever. He got dragged to court and so on, and to prove the point about something, and well, he couldn't afford he was broke and all alone, and are you okay?
No, I'm not.
Okay. You always made a point of how you were never close with your dad. So this is the...
From offstage, the sound of keys in the door, the front door opening.
Hello?
Oh, good. Come on up.
Look, you didn't marry me. That was my grandpa. We Freaky Friday, I guess 40 years ago, something, and everything since the past months before I went to college, that was him. The past decades and decades, that's not me. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Don't tell our son, I guess.
Wilbert, their son, enters. The resemblance floors Andrea.
Surprise! Happy birthday, Mom.
Andrea gives him a big, mournful hug.
Well, wish I got that kind of welcome. Flight all right?
Yeah, and Grant's downstairs playing with his little games.
Kids. What's the matter with kids these days?
Are people still doing Bye Bye Birdie? You all right, Mom?
Well, she says she hit her head last night, and now she can't remember anything since, like, what, 40 years?
What?
And she was perfectly fine last night.
Is this true?
No, I remember everything fine. I just want to enjoy my birthday.
Okay. Who's the president?
Your question, there isn't any.
Let me see where you hit your head.
It's okay.
She'll be all right, right?
Let me just... I don't see anything, any indications.
So is she gonna be okay?
This is really weird, but totally fixable as long as you didn't toss out that N-buck.
Uh-huh. And which is that?
Machine I gave you on Christmas.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'll go get that now. It's off somewhere.
He exits.
Don't worry, Mom. Nothing to be spooked about.
Okay.
We'll have a good time yet.
You can call me Andy if you want.
Hmm?
You can call me Andy if...
Sure. I can call you Andy. Not a problem. So, how's your birthday been so far, Andy? I see you finished your breakfast. How was that?
It was good.
That's a great chef.
He said he went to college and stuff.
And he's right.
Where'd you go to college at?
Oh, I just had to go to far away for you, Andy, and for undergrad. Then I did.
How was it?
It was over 20 years ago was how it was, but some of the most purely fun years of my life. My first time out of state. It's where I met Brian. It's
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear.
what's the matter?
It's not too late. Is it?
Ah, you should be ready for any parties you have tonight or
No, too late to go to college and get a good job and make something of myself.
you have made something of yourself, Andy. You are a wonderful wife and mother and grandmother.
This the one?
That is the one. Here, can you lie down?
Son starts plugging the machine that father brought in, booting it up, etc.
When's the last time you did a backup?
It's honestly, I've been a bit too scared to use it, so
So it's been around 8 months.
sorry.
All right. It's not ideal, but it... Mom, please lie down. Take notes so you can do it yourself if you have to.
Andrea lies on the bed. Husband grabs a notepad and takes notes. Son fiddles with the machine as he narrates.
All right. So you just got to plug it in like you'd plug in anything. This is your power button, and this first screen, you have a choice between upload and download. Think up to the machine or down to the person. So we want download.
He puts a headpiece on Andrea's head.
The headpiece will look for the person's unique brainwave patterns and pull up their profile. Okay, that's weird. It doesn't recognize her. So we can push here for manual selection and see, there she is. Andrea W. We'll select that.
What? What does this do?
Guess you didn't have these back in your 20s. It'll just restore your memories, your personality, etc. to the last backup. So it'll just fill in that big old 40-year gap for you, and you'll just have to explain to her why it's her birthday instead of last Christmas, and fill her in on anything important that happened since then.
Okay.
So you see why it's important to do a backup somewhat frequently?
Okay.
So don't worry, you won't remember anything about this conversation. Nothing.
I don't want that.
Mom,
Son.
I don't. I have things I want to do, not.
Mom, I don't know what's going on with you, but you're frightening Dad and myself. You've got people who rely on you. That's us and Grant and your clubs and your friends and your garden. You think Dad is going to remember to water your plants? You have a life. You have your role and your place in society. You're an adult. We love you and we need you.
I just. I don't know where the time's gone.
I do. It's all right here.
Andrea lies back down.
Okay. Okay, so we have manually selected Mom's profile in case it doesn't pop up automatically. The date right there is the most recent backup that we'll revert to, and that's Christmas last year. So that checks out. We'll select that, okay? And we'll hit this button that says replenish, and that'll do the trick.
She sits back up.
Hey, I want to go outside.
Son hits the button. Andrea twitches and passes out.
Okay. And there's a progress meter on the screen now, but it's always wildly inaccurate. Usually it takes around 6 hours, and she'll wake up on her own when it's done.
Okay.
And really, at your age, you should do a backup once a month. Everyone should, really.
Okay.
I'll show you how to do that tomorrow. And I will call every month to remind you.
Sounds good.
You probably won't want to include this in your recap. People generally don't react well to stories of them losing their mind, you know?
Right. Well, thank you. Obviously. You just saved my life.
Dad.
Well, you know, she's my whole life. I don't know what I'd do without her.
I know, Dad.
I remember when I first met her, when I first hired her, I thought she hated me. Never gave me the time of day, always arguing with me about the uniform, and
No, Dad.
but I always had a big crush on her, which I know it's bad for the boss to have, but she always hated me, so it never mattered.
No, Dad.
But then just one day out of the blue, it's like she just notices me for the first time. Like someone cast a love spell on her or something. One day she just called before a shift to say she loved working for me.
I know, Dad.
Of course, it's right before she moves to college, and I'm like, well, she'll choose some big city West Coast preppy frat guy, I'm thinking. And I'll never see her again, but
I know, Dad.
what do you know? She moves back home, and I mean, I know it's a mean joke, but I always joke that I'd never been so happy for someone to not follow their dreams.
No, Dad. If you think with all this going on that it'd be easier for me and Grant to go to a hotel instead,
No. Your mother's been looking forward to your next visit for months. She's been wanting to tell Grant about his namesake.
great grandfather. I'm bad with the trees.
Yep. The great double G's.
Mhm.
She wants the kid to learn about him. And she wants to show him the last on the last of her dad's clocks, that you know the one that she hid from the feds or so on.
Yeah, that ratty old cuckoo clock.
I know. But she likes it, and she thinks Grant will like it, so
Oh, grandpa. It's just, I'm sorry, but that just will always fucking piss me off. He would have loved to have met Grant. He would have loved to have seen my success. I mean, he was always healthy and happy, and I know he had so much just shitty luck and shitty situations in his life, but he always kept a good attitude and outlook, and that's impressive. He was a bright man who could have done so much more. He could have done more when he was younger, and he could have done so much more. He didn't kill himself. I know. I know. I'll always love him. I'll always cherish my childhood memories with him, but it doesn't mean I can forgive him. There's always another option. Is a bad life and a hard and tough life better than no life at all? I don't know. I mean, I think so. Just keep going. Every person lives forever. Till they don't.
Blackout. Time slips by in unexpected ways. The things we learn, the things we teach, and the things we leave behind are rarely what we expect them to be. And before you know it, your time is up. In the end, what can one do? Apart, of course, from doing what one can to make each day even slightly less spooky than the rest. Until we meet again, good night.
Everybody turn on your videos and your sound, and let's show our actors a little love.
Yeah.
It says I can't start my video.
Okay, Ian, you really have to turn off that virtual background. It's creeping all of us out.
Right?
Excellent.
AJ, you have to turn my video back on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes.
I know why you turned it off.
A second. Okay. So we did things a little differently. Welcome to our production, and just a quick round of introductions, starting with Scott, our director.
Hi, I'm Scott Olson. I had the wonderful experience of directing this show, and I want to thank all the actors. And I'm from Virginia, Northern Virginia.
Ahmad.
Hi, I am Ahmad. I played the dad and the son. And I am from Oakton, Virginia. Thank you so much for having me.
Scott Graham.
Yes, I am Scott Graham. I played the grandpa and the husband, and Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. area. So it was awesome. Thank you.
And Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sara Lucchini. I played Andrea, and I live in San Diego. So in the time that this show happened, this went from afternoon to the sunset.
And
of
Ian.
course, we have Joshua Kahn with us, our playwright. Say hello.
Hi, I'm Josh. I am also in San Diego, so I can attest that Sarah was telling the truth about the signs
Thank you.
going away.
Don't forget Ian.
And Ian.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ian. Hello. Sorry, please.
I thought I was just going to remain anonymous. I'm
No.
Ian. I'm in Texas, and I was the spooky voice telling everyone what was going on.
Very silky.
And I'm AJ. I'm in Washington, D.C., and I produce the Quarantine Players. Does anybody have any questions, comments, feedback for Josh, the cast?
That was very intense. I really liked it.
Thank you.
It was intricate and just different.
Thank you.
Very good job. Very good job, everybody.
I have a question for the player.
Yes.
I've read this now twice through. I'm still not entirely convinced that I know what happened at the end of this play. And it's probably if that's intentional, then it's great because it makes people think about stuff. But I'm still like, is is it all a dream, or did she just continue in the time warp? But if you don't want to say, that's fine. Like, that's cool.
I mean, I always like hearing feedback because I know what I have intended, so I'm always curious to hear how it comes across to other people. That's more what I'm interested in, so I can take those notes and try to calibrate it. But yeah, it's definitely supposed to be a little bit ambiguous. But people have their fan theories. I'll take notes of those.
Mystery is great. I just wanted to make sure it was a mystery, and that I wasn't being dense.
So did you come to a conclusion, Ian, about what you thought it was?
Say what?
Did you come to a conclusion about what you thought it was? Or are you of two minds, or are you of any minds 40 years later, or what?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that that those clocks were possessed and they put her into a time warp, and that actually happened. But the ending is made in such a way that makes you wonder that if it was all a dream. But I think it wasn't a dream. The clocks were possessed, and Grandpa paid the price for her savagery.
Right. I mean, I feel like, yes, it sort of feels like all of this, does sort of play out in some sort of way, and it feels almost like, like Grandpa gets away with it for like 65 years, and then like when he would have died 65 years ago, when the grandpa person died, then 65 years later the granddaughter who was the grandpa now becomes the granddaughter again because the grandpa died. She's now like, oh shit, I've lost 40 years of my life. But sort of is in a place to where now it's sort of just kind of gets, like, oh, that's fine. We can fix you missing 40 years of your life. And it's sort of like not necessarily expected that it's going to be that way. So Grandpa ends up kind of getting his comeuppance, so to speak, in the end.
Let me ask this. So, Ian, you're the first person that's ever mentioned the possession of the clocks being the evil factor in this.
Oh, it's just one of those. I might have been reading into it too much, but there's a tiny little clue dropped in this last scene, or then and some here and there that, like, something about, I can't even remember exactly what it was, but it was something about, and he got taken away because he was stealing federally protected trees, and maybe they were federally protected because they were evil.
Something's in them.
And
Something's in them. Yeah, I caught that too. I was like,
so they have evil sap in them that's causing time travel. So it wasn't really the
You're on the right track. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, I got always that it was the clocks. I mean, it was. I got always sort of from the beginning.
Oh no, we threw off the director.
That it was
as the director.
That it was the clocks. The clocks were the one.
I did not find the clocks having anything to play with this other than the passage of time. And now Joshua is saying that we are on the right. Y'all are on the right track. So, Mr. Joshua, if you wouldn't mind explaining just a little bit, please.
I mean, at least the way that I was trying to build it, which sounds like it was at least somewhat successful, is that the audience, just like the characters, don't know exactly what the cause of things was. But at least in my mind, the cause of it, as Ian was saying, is that it does have to do with the clocks, which cause all sorts of weird effects.
Huh.
Yeah, honestly, to me, I do feel like, Josh, that plays very clearly because of the way you use the convention of the clocks. They're always chiming, the clocks chimes, what change things, all of that stuff I feel like really does play into letting the audience know that there was something about the clocks. And you don't necessarily explain it exactly, which I think is great. I don't think you need to like really spell it out. I think that would be too much.
And I feel like that's something that in the event of a physical production where you can actually see all the clocks like on the set the whole time, that it will be more like a visual thing that doesn't really leave the audience's
Right. I
mind.
mean, right, exactly. And I mean, depending on your production budget and how much you can do it, I mean, you know, if you could get all those clocks to like do things together simultaneously and freeze and make noises all together and all that stuff, that would be, you know, yeah, all that.
So basically, stupid dad and his stupid shit ass clocks doomed everyone.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
In a way, but you just gotta love the nice clueless dad.
Well,
Just
let's
wants
ask
everyone to
let's
get
ask
along.
some of the audience. Barry, Ian Thal, Priscilla.
I was concerned and about when the grandfather dies, did the granddaughter die? I mean, you know, if his body died, she was in it, so that means she died. And so then he went off and lived her life, as it were. And so then how could she come back? So at the end, it was like, oh, is that Andrea, or is that the grandfather in Andrea's body still?
Who did you think it was?
What?
Who did you think it was, Barry?
Well, I mean, she acted like it was her. It wasn't the grandfather anymore because the personality was different. But then I was thinking, where'd she come from? You know, where'd she been all that time? And so then when they were going to do their little rewinding thing, I was like, oh, no, it's going to be the grandfather when he comes back.
Exactly. That's good. That's what the intent is. So I'm glad that is how you felt.
I was very happy, I will tell you.
But yeah, to go to the question of who it is and what happened to her, I don't know if you want to say soul or spirit or however you want to phrase it. I mean, part of that is that because like the characters don't know, I want to try to keep the audience in that sense of not really knowing what exactly is going on. So along those lines, because there's so much of the earlier part of the show where they're like, I don't know why would I know how this works? This hasn't happened to anybody before. So, and I put in that last section, maybe I can, in revisions, hammer it home a little bit more, but there's the parts where Andrea is saying, and she's trying to piece it together, where she's like, so it's my 65th birthday, and my grandpa died on his 65th birthday. So there's some sort of idea that's connected, like when his body died, his soul will live until that length of time, and then it will revert in a way. So it's a whole bunch of sci-fi mumbo jumbo that doesn't need to make that much sense as long as it tracks emotionally in a way.
Maybe the clock captures the souls.
Ooh,
Oh, don't
that
you
would be a complicated clock.
Come on.
The soul was in the
Priscilla?
cuckoo the whole time.
Priscilla, what did you think?
I missed the clocks altogether. I was aware that they were there and they were making noises and that sort of thing, but I missed it entirely as having anything to do with this. It was confusing at the end. I thought it was Andrea coming back, and yet if they download the memories, I was afraid the grandfather was coming back, or that her personality would be subsumed by the grandfather's. What I wasn't clear, because initially at the beginning of the play, the grandfather was presented as a mean, thoughtless, cruel person, and yet all of her co-workers liked him, and he changed how she was perceived. So that was like, how did that happen? How did that character turn around?
Well,
Good question.
I
Yeah,
think that
that's-
some of that is up to because like we don't get to actually see any of that, and we have to just take Grandpa's word for that, and he isn't the most trustworthy relator of facts, but
Right.
Right, so that character
What I
might
think it
actually
is
be
is-
lying. He might actually be lying about all that.
Uh-huh.
He's saying, I'm making friends for you, but really he's alienating all those people.
Well, yes, but then
But then on the other hand,
the husband says, that he was in love with her, and then she came in and she was wonderful, and there was something charming about her at
I
that
think
point.
on the one hand, yeah, and also, but I think that Andrea herself, because she feels in a way that she's kind of better than her town, like her whole thing is she's wanting to leave, and she doesn't really think about the other people at her job as like her coworkers. She just thinks of them as like people to be endured until she doesn't have to be there anymore.
Okay.
So then when the grandpa comes in and he's like, yeah, I'll go out and have a drink with you. Yeah, I'll, talk and not be like a brusque and professional at work kind of thing. That it's I mean, I haven't worked in restaurants in a bit, but people in restaurants can get a bit raucous. And I feel like Grandpa's a bit more raucous than Andrea would be.
Yeah.
If I could go back 10 or 15 years, if I was given that choice, there's certainly a lot of people that I wish I were nicer to.
Yeah.
So multiply that times 40 and being a miserable bastard. And it seems like you'd probably take that chance and do better rather than going back and being a miserable bastard again.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And honestly, there's something to the grandpa character of the manipulating, calculating sort of person that he is, that he would go out and on purpose be sweet and whatever.
Oh, he's a total narcissist.
In the new body, because hey, I'm but sort of like do that flip flop kind of thing. So I could see that being like a two sides to the character kind of thing.
I also
Ian Thal says, how do you reload somebody's backup memories without informed consent?
Oh no, are we going into the ethics of sci-fi medicine? I don't
Tracks
know.
for me.
Ian always asks the tough questions.
What is it? There is a sci-fi show. What is it, that sci-fi show that's about like people who live like hundreds and hundreds of years and they upload their memories to a cloud, and they live, the physical body is called a sleeve.
That's
And you,
Yes.
and
Carbon,
you can, altered carbon. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have heard of that one.
Yeah. I would say, Josh, you should watch Altered Carbon. It's a really good series. There's a couple seasons of it. It's pretty good, and sort of ties into this notion of this thing. I think a little bit what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. I will write that down.
Ian says that he always asks questions about sci-fi ethics. Good man.
Yeah.
As you
So-
should.
So my take on this play from the beginning was it's not really sci-fi. And I know that sounds strange, but Amanda's an unreliable narrator in every sense of the word. Why? Because she's having memory problems. And to me, that was the most terrifying part of this, because it's so real and so present for all of us. And it could be as somebody experiences memory loss as they age. And her one goal in life is to become a neurologist and find a way to cure this.
But she was
So-
in her 20s when she started to have that, if that were the case. So why would she, I mean,
I
that's
disagree.
very, very, very rare, right?
No, I disagree. I think she is older already and she's looking back.
Oh, and she's looking back thinking she should have become a neurologist.
And she's having trouble. It's present day. It's 2060. She's 65 years old, and now her memory is fading, and that's why time is warping and quicksanding and going through things like this. That's how I saw it from the start.
So is any of what happened a reality to her, or is it all part of her condition?
Memory is not a reality. It is all part of her condition. How she remembers it is part of her condition. How it fades, they regress in time. They go back to their 20s sometimes. They remember things with incredibly vivid detail, and other things just go away.
Also paranoia as well.
And
with
anger.
the anger and paranoia. So we could easily, well, as far from my perspective, like seeing, I see both of the truths. Like, it's interesting that this could at once be what really happened, and also I see the maybe I'm just not choosing sides, but I also see the truth, exactly what you're saying, that like she's sitting and thinking back and creating a story to make up the reasons why she's can't remember the past 20 years. And I actually saw like textual hints to both for me. Those sort of things, like whichever one you agree with, you're going to see the support there. So I thought that was really ingeniously done.
That's why theater is fun, because you can get very different productions of the same script. And that's why I love theater, as opposed to film where you're kind of just locked into one thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very interesting, because I had an entirely different thought process when I started this task, and I still, I mean, I can see the Alzheimer's leap. I can't understand the beginning, if that were the case, though, why that memory of her trying to go to school and everything would be so messed up as it is. Why she would develop a memory of grandpa beating her up so badly, and her not going to college and him taking over for her. I mean, that goes to the realm of sci-fi so much that I think there was more in the sci-fi realm than an actual making up of memories realm. So yeah, I mean, Josh is right. We've got 10 different people here with 10 different ideas of where.
Well, and it's funny to me that, Scott, as I listen to you say that, one of the things that is sort of brought to the forefront for me is what I think kind of good sci-fi does, which is sort of make us think about these really real world things.
Absolutely.
But allows us to have an extrapolation into places, into things that aren't real, that allows us to think about it in terms of how I would react, and and separate those things out. That's why like superhero stories and all these kind of sci-fi stories end up ringing true, is because they do sort of bring out that humanity in us. And so it's funny, I don't think either one is wrong. I think sort of reading it in a very realistic and humane and very human, honest, real way is actually really the way to do it. But really, that's what makes, I think, Josh, what you've tapped onto here kind of really nice. And I encourage you to really keep working on this, because I think you've tapped into something here, because it does have that element of just real honest people, but there's these extraordinary things that are happening to them. It's funny, I just watched a couple weeks ago, I watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind again for the first time in a bazillion years. And Steven Spielberg is brilliant. And one of the things that was great in that movie was it was just this family, this like Midwestern family, this guy who's like climbing up on like power lines and working on power lines, who sees like a UFO, and it fucks him up, and it crashes his life, and he gets divorced, and everything happens, all this stuff, this real world stuff happens, but it's all sort of in this context of like, was it this or was it this other thing? And I really do think you've kind of touched on that here, Josh. There's something that's wonderful about this family drama that's happening, but at the same time, what is happening?
So here's where I want to go with this, and Josh, I would honestly ask you to think about this as you go back through your script again. Is in 40 years of Andrea not remembering anything, why do the son and the husband not mention anything there at the end? I mean, if they even in the downloading of the memories and stuff, that there should have been something about the son saying, well, you know, this is why I did this, you know, not just because he, you know, looked up to her, but because this is the way she was. I mean, I would
Because she
think
did
the
it to save
father,
him.
I would think the husband and the son would have played more into the ending of an answer if that were the case of about anything other than a Twilight Zone type situation, right? You understand what I'm saying?
What do you mean? That they would play more into the answer of what?
So they would play in more into giving over some answers themselves about why she doesn't remember anything.
Oh, like
Anybody with Alzheimer's
answers
is going
to
to be affected over a course of time, in and out of that course of time, right? In 40 years, for not to have something happen to her, or be some way, or act some way, would have been incomprehensible at this point.
Yeah. So you mean like play more into answers of like the larger quote unquote answer of like the story kind of thing.
Right.
Okay.
Where did they
get
into all this at that point, right?
I'm not sure exactly what you're asking, Scott, but it sounded to me as though this now has become a practice for everybody, because the son says, you should, to his father, you should do this on a regular basis.
Right.
You know,
Well, everybody should. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody should. I kind of like leaving it open-ended. You've got to let the audience try to engage and put their own spin on it. And you don't want to explain every single thing, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think, Priscilla, I'm looking for every single thing. I think I'm looking for the effects of 40 years of Andrea being like this on the husband and the son.
Oh.
I mean, Joshua very quickly in one line mentions Brian. We have no clue who Brian is, other than probably the partner of the son, right? And Grant, and we hear this this thought process of her responding to that name, but those kind of things in my mind she would have responded to at that point. If her son was really gay and he has a partner, she would have responded to that because of her dad. If they named his son Grant, she would have responded to that in some way in that 40 years, right? So I think we're missing a key element of explanation.
Well, and I was thinking, if this had never happened before, that the father or the husband and the son would be a little more disturbed about it, but they didn't seem all that disturbed about it. So maybe if there was some kind of line about, well, we've used this before, you know, rather than just that, oh, that thing that, you know, you're not familiar with. I mean, it had probably been around or maybe used before. So this wasn't the first time she'd had that. Or I just think they would have been much more upset and amazed if she couldn't remember anything. And they just seemed to take it pretty well.
Right.
Yeah.
Part of.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say to Barry's point. Yeah, part of that is deliberate. The idea that like, thanks to the son and the son's machine that he has, that they aren't really concerned about any sort of big memory issues, because their concern isn't, oh no, is she going to be okay? Their concern is, well, are we going to have to explain the past week to her or the past 8 months to her?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't have much concern about like the larger existential problems.
But why doesn't it bother him more that he can just put it on manual and she's not in there? I mean, it was my perception that he developed this machine. So why wouldn't he be more concerned about the fact that her profile wasn't in, of her brainwaves was not in that machine? They were just going to do a manual upload.
Yeah.
Well, on one level, that line is kind of a slight little nod to how when it would have been uploaded, it would have been the grandpa's brainwaves. So when he puts it on there, it's looking for grandpa. But it's like, oh, that's weird. But I see what you're talking about, how that would probably throw him off a little bit more. So let me type that down.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that it would throw him off. You know,
Why?
because sometimes people in their single-mindedness just don't let anomalies throw them off.
Especially if you're a medical professional. I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
too often that like the moment it takes you to hesitate could actually be a life-altering moment, I think. So you just go, and then you might think about it over dinner, and then over the next couple of dinners, and then you might go back and revisit it if it becomes an issue.
There actually could be a whole news story from that point on.
Yeah.
You know, actually.
There could be. That's how I usually come across when I'm writing stories. I'm like, well, then what happens next? And then what happens next is you have a whole extra epilogue where you go and see her family. And
Right.
there has to be a point where like we can't just keep adding scenes. But,
When they said I can't find her, oh here, you know, and I was thinking it's the grandfather. It's the oh my gosh, she's gonna wake up as the grandfather again, and it freaked me out.
So Ian says, I really needed more of the character development to see how Grandpa in Andrea's body goes from being so manipulative, sociopathic, etc., into a great wife, mom, grandma in the 40 years later episode. Boom! Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
No.
We also had another comment from someone who wants to remain anonymous, that the length of the show was probably a little too long, given the action that happens with it.
yeah, one second. I'm typing down that other note. 1 second. Let me finish typing that down.
So
I feel like a part of that is definitely the difference between a Zoom reading versus like a rehearsed thing where it's like people like know the lines and can really just go zap 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 through it.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, it's definitely by far the longest show I've written because most of my stuff is like 90 minutes, no intermission. But yeah, I was definitely taking notes throughout of things that can be tightened, but I also would definitely want to see how long it is when it's like compact, you know.
Right.
I thinking about the grandpa, that moment where he is watching himself through Andrea's body, and he's just like beating up on himself, and it's not that he's beating up Andrea, he's beating up on himself. I don't, it's not hard for me to imagine that he would want a restart, a second chance, eventually, after multiple failures, still college, work, etc., that he eventually gets his act together. But I do feel like as an audience member or a reader, I would want a little bit more of that transition, of what makes him become, like what is the redeeming factor in him?
Right. That makes him a great wife, mother, grandma, whatever, right? Well, folks, we are at 10:35.
Ooh,
and we've gone over what we would normally go through. I want to thank our audience members who participated again. Thank you so much. It's always nice to see you guys every week. To my cast and my producer and one of my now favorite authors in the world, thank you so much. You guys did great. And I really want to say a special thanks to Sara, who literally came in and saved our lives at the last minute.
This was her first time,
my young lady, and you gave 100%. Thank you.
you read that cold, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
cold.
right.
Let me tell you, it was a journey. I had no idea what's happened next any more than the rest of you. No, I had something, but it was
literally
before
the show. It's like, hey, what's the plot? Okay.
Yeah, that was great. It was.
Sara, you were awesome. Honestly, there's moments in this. It was fun to try to sort of like triangulate you, sort of project you, because like the way you were at the beginning to sort of like triangulate like
Yeah.
stuff that then was getting said to me, Grandpa, as you know, like the way that would affect that character. It was fun to try to do. There's good stuff in this show.
It was absolutely a
There is a lot.
blast, and really just like fun and genuine tears at the end, by the way, which is not something I do very often. Like I don't like whenever someone says they cry, I'm always like, okay, I'm not gonna fake it. But this time I was like, oh, okay, because like memory stuff really gets me very, very deeply.
Yeah.
So it's just absolutely a pleasure to thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank
Let
you.
AJ say anything, any final words?
Yes, this will be live on our, available on our Facebook page at facebook.com/quarantine players at 7 p.m. on Friday. And our podcast version of this will come out sometime between now and then.
A lot of sound effects to add into this one.
We're going to be adding quite a lot of digital effects because I have caught the bug, and apparently I think that, well, you can just do a reading, or we can add in real sound effects, or we can change the color, or we can do this. So very excited to see. Please like and share the video as much as possible. We build our audience after we perform. So this is how we do it. One share at a time, one like at a time. So spread the word.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Good
Have a
night.
good night.
Good night.